High school basketball is on there. Conference action on tap this evening from historic Story Gymnasium as the South High Fighting Bison entertain the East High Thunderbirds in girls and boys action back-to-back. High School Hoops on 1480 KRAE is being brought to you by our fine sports sponsors. Now, let's send it out to Story Gym for basketball action ×2 as the Lady Bison and the Fighting Bison entertain the Lady T-Birds and Thunderbirds respectively. To bring us both games and before tip-off of the ladies' game, let's check in with our pregame show. We send it out now to Chris Polton and Nick Proetti right here on 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Welcome inside Story Gymnasium, way up high. I am Chris Polton, joined alongside my partner after a week absence of the two of us together. Yeah, he is back. Nick Peretti made it through I-80 and Rock Springs shenanigans.
We didn't go through I-80. We had to go around as we were, myself and Larry Peretti were stuck out in Rock Springs with LCCC after, again, a Wednesday night contest between the men and women of LCCC. Had to take the long way to get back to Cheyenne late last night. But here and ready for more high school hoops as it's been a while. And it should be some fun matchups, especially that all four teams were in action last night. East seeing Laramie, South over at the Fieldhouse seeing Central. So, again, interesting to see how things play out. Again, here we are 2 weeks remaining before regionals start up for the high school, at least Class 4A. Right,
and we'll have our tents here, and we'll have, a campfire set up here at Story Gymnasium as regionals here this year at the historic Story Gymnasium. Well, first of all, let's take a second and thank our sponsors. Of course, without them, we wouldn't be able to bring you high school basketball this season. Baskin-Robbins, Cheyenne State Bank, Merritt Plumbing and Heating, Chick-fil-A, Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, First Education Federal Credit Union, Best Western Plus Frontier Inn, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, Platte Valley Bank, B&B Appliance and TV, Marv's Plumbing and Heating, Big Apple Bagels, the Cheyenne Stampede, I-80 Towing and Service in Laramie, Medicap Pharmacy, Pepsi of Cheyenne, our official sponsor of our scoreboard, Kia of Cheyenne, Lennox Auto Body, Breadbasket Bakery, Gill Window Company, Little Philly, Fat Boys, Tire and Auto, Taco John's, First Tier Bank, Capital Lumber Company, Halliday Motors, McGee Hernan Pies LLP, United States Air Force, and Papa John's are our sponsors for high school hoops here on 1480 KRAE. And Nick, as you were saying, should have at the very least a very good girls game tonight as South comes off the huge victory over the number 4 ranked Central Lady Indians, and you got to think they're going to be riding a high wave coming into tonight.
They're certainly going to have momentum, but that momentum might hit a wall, and that would be the number 1 ranked East High Lady Thunderbirds. Again, a team that is sitting right now 20-1 overall. Again, just been a behemoth in Class 4A this season, led by Coach Eric Wesley. So, again, see what happens in this contest again, or at least South knows how to overcome those odds. Will they do it here tonight against the dominant East High Lady Thunderbirds?
January 18th is when they last played. South lost that one. South lost to East 68-58. Kind of a sloppy game. A lot of turnovers in that one. But I'm sure for South and Coach Chad DeBryan, you want to get East off their game and playing as sloppy as possible. As you mentioned, East, not only are they number 1, they're unanimous. All 9 votes went to East as the number 1 team, and very deservingly so, as they come off the 22-point thumping last week of Thunder Basin at the Thunderdome. They deserve it, and they're on 14-game winning streak. They haven't lost in the state of Wyoming this year. So, yeah, I would say they're not probably just the best in 4A. They're probably the very best team in the state of Wyoming.
And they're looking to prove that here tonight again against a crosstown rival where, again, rivalry matchups, anything and everything can happen. We've seen plenty of teams upset those number 1 seeds here in Story Gym. So, again, interesting to see how things play out for Chad DeBryan and his Lady Fighting Bison coming up. Again, coming off that huge win, or at least that upset win, so to speak, against the Central High Lady Indians there in the Fieldhouse.
We did get a chance to catch up with Coach Chad DeBryan and talk about that victory last night, also about the matchup ahead with the East Lady Thunderbirds. Also, you'll hear from Coach Eric Westling just after that, as we got a chance to talk to him about the Laramie win last night and the matchup here tonight against South. We'll take a 1-minute timeout and then hear from the coaches. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back to our high school hoops pregame show now, joined alongside South High Lady Fightin Bison Coach Chad DeBryan. Coach, a stressful game last night, but one that really probably showed more than ever the overall growing up of your team, coming back down 12 in the fourth quarter and pulling out a big victory against a good Central team.
Yeah, you know, the message after that game in the locker room was, hey, do you guys believe now? And I think a game like that, if nothing else, it just lets our kids know that we can compete with anybody.
Coach, just as far as the maturity of this team, you lose a game that you probably should win against Sheridan, but come back the next night, beat Natrona, and then just carry that over to Central. As far as where you guys are at right now, I mean, at this point, is it anybody that comes in your way you know you can compete with?
Yeah, I mean, we've played good halves against Thunder Basin. We played 3 quarters good against East the last time we played them. We just have to put 4 quarters together. I know they can do it. It's just a matter of growing up and being able to work through an entire 4 quarters.
You had a lot of players step up, but I think your dynamic duo kind of carries you in Callista Martinez and Riley Van Tassel. How important will it be for them to, once again, not just carry you from a defensive standpoint, but from a scoring standpoint as well?
Yeah, they're our leading scorers. You know, both of them are in the top 10 in the region for scoring, and we need them to score every night. Obviously, they're capable of doing a lot of other things other than just score, but you know, last night we had some seniors step up and really lead us. It doesn't necessarily show in the stat column, and even, you know, Jaya Brown hits big free throws and handles the ball for us all the time. Again, those things don't show up in the stat column, but you know, there were 7, 8 kids that contributed, and it was a team win.
Last weekend, East really solidified themselves as the #1 team in the state, but you guys played them very well. As you said, it was really just that one quarter that really snake bit you guys, and then you played with them the rest of the way. You want to turn the page quickly because this is a new game. It's a new slate. 0-0 is the score, but how important will it be, especially the first 4 minutes?
Well, you know, I feel good about our first halves all season, honestly. It's that third quarter that usually gets us. You know, it happened up in Thunder. We had them down at half. You know, we were leading at half here against East. We were leading last night at half, and then that third quarter happens, and I don't know what we're going to do to fix that third quarter, but really it's the first 4 minutes of that third quarter we got to take care of.
Well, there you go, right? Yeah, the first 4 coming out of the halftime. And, Coach, last thing is you know, Kai Buell is so tough to stop, but now you're starting to see some other players get going. Kaylee McEwen's had some good nights. How important will it be to limit her touches down low? Because she seems to be unstoppable once she gets it in the block.
Yeah, it's really important. You know, we're going to pack it in and try to keep the ball out of her hands, you know. The Buell kid's a great basketball player. She's going to get her touches and her numbers. Just she handles the ball so much. So you got to stop the big kid.
Yeah, right, absolutely. Well, Coach, thank you for your time. Very best of luck tonight. That is Coach Chad DeBryan. More of our pregame show right after this on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back to our high school pregame show. I'm now joined alongside head coach Eric Wessling. Coach, a 14-game winning streak. Was a tough go, though, against Laramie, especially when you go up against a player like Jennifer Adlin.
Yeah, Adlin's an all-state player, and so you kind of expect that from her, and she came out and did what she does, and we had a slow start, and our kids were able to battle back from that and get the win at least.
Starting to get a lot more production from the score sheet from Kaylee McEwen. She started it really looked like against Thunder Basin, carried it over to Friday night. How important will she be down the stretch, especially in a game like tonight where size is going to be something that you guys will be able to take advantage of against South?
Yeah, she's one of the components that makes our team work. I mean, I tell the kids every night they're all valuable components, whether they be off the bench or or a starting player, they make us work, and she's a big part of that. And so for her going forward to be a post presence for us is huge.
Last night was one of those nights where you needed Kai to get you through it, and once again she steps up. Does she ever cease to amaze you?
She, it was a pretty quiet 20 she had last night, and it was quiet because she was trying to do every facet of the game, not just score. And I was proud of her effort for keeping us together, and I think a lot of our kids had that. But she definitely made some big plays when we needed her to, and that's kind of what she does. So it was good.
South comes off a very big win last night, a last 10-second win, winning at the free throw line. This is a team that's young, but if they can get going and believe, they could be very dangerous. And they gave you guys a good run for your money last time you played. How important will it be to set the tempo in the first quarter?
I think tempo is always important. For no matter who you're playing, you want to play your way. So we want to do that for sure, but a lot of credit to Coach Brian and South, and we see them over the summers, and that's been a big thing. Is they're athletic and always have been, but they're putting in the work to be competitive, and they're definitely dangerous for sure.
They got a plus-size guard in Callista Martinez as far as height goes. She has always been a problem, at least for everybody she goes up against. Her and Riley Van Tassel seem a nice little duo. How important will it be to, one, make sure you're managing the gaps for Callista when she drives, and then limit Riley's touches down low?
Yeah, for both those kids are great kids, do a lot of great things. For us, it's staying true to our defensive principles. And we had some lapses last night, but when we stay true to who we can be defensively, we're pretty good and pretty solid with whoever we face. And so that's going to be the key tonight, is can we play 5 against 5 and really have our shell drill come through.
All right, that is head coach Eric Wessling. Thank you for your time. Good luck tonight. More of our 1480 High School Hoop pregame show right after this timeout. Welcome back inside Historic Story Gymnasium as we are about to get underway with East and South. The girls are up first. Let's take you first through the starters for the South Lady Fightin' Bison and head coach Chad DeBryan. Number 2, Callista Martinez, a sophomore. Then a junior, number 4, Angelina Leggett. Sophomore, number 12, Jaya Brown. Senior, number 21, Felicia Sina. And then a sophomore, number 22, Riley Van Tassel. This Lady Fightin' Bison team comes in at 8-11, 3-6 overall. They did beat Central last night, 46-45. They were down 12 with 5:30 left in the fourth quarter. We'll take another 1-minute timeout here, a 2-minute timeout, and we'll have the starters for the East Lady Thunderbirds right after this 2-minute timeout on 1480 KRAE. Now let's take a look at the home team tonight, the East Lady Thunderbirds and head coach Eric Wessling's starting 5. They'll go with senior number 3, Sydney Miller, junior number 11, Madison Blaney, junior number 13, Kai Buell, senior number 31, Abby Erickson, and senior number 54, Kaylee McEwen. East is coming in on a 14-game winning streak. They beat Laramie last night 53-48. They're obviously the number 1 team in 4A, and as I said earlier, Nick, probably the number 1 team in the state of Wyoming, without any type of classification to it.
Yeah, without a doubt. Again, East High Lady Thunderbirds and what they've been doing, again, under head coach Eric Wesling has just been nothing short of just phenomenal. Again, have not lost to a single team in the entire state of Wyoming. Again, their one loss came to a team down in Colorado. So, again, it's going to be a tough task for South to upset the Lady Thunderbirds here tonight as they dim the lights again, as they put on a special presentation, since East will be the home team, so to speak, here at the neutral Story Gym. So, but again, for Cheyenne East, you don't want to chalk it up for them. Again, it is a rivalry, and what we saw last night with Cheyenne South, again, upsetting Cheyenne Central. You give a fighting chance to the Fighting Bison here tonight of what they can do. But again, for Cheyenne South, and what we saw a few weeks ago here at the same venue of Story Gym, for the Lady Fighting Bison, they need to clean up the turnovers. They need to play a little bit better ball if they want to upset and take care and at least get Cheyenne East's second loss of the season here tonight.
Right, and what will come down to, too, is which team can buck a trend. East has had terrible second quarters this season. Against Thunder Basin, they were outscored 17-4, I believe, or 17-5 in the second quarter against Thunder Basin, where actually Thunder Basin took a lead into the half. South has had really bad third quarters. They come out of the half flat, and that's really hurt them. That game against East was really close going into the half, and then East really got out into a very comfortable lead in that third quarter and were able to cruise in that matchup on January 18th. As far as these teams go, scoring team-wise, South is averaging 43.5 points per game, giving up 51.5. They shoot 34% from the field, 24% from 3. 56% from the free throw line. For East, 62 points per game, that's number 1 in Class 4A. 43.5, that's number 3 in 4A as far as points given up. They shoot 40% from the field, 30.5% from behind the arc. They shoot 59% from the free throw line. South will be in the road black. They have some, black stripes along the side of their shorts with gold on the shoulders. East will be in their home whites with the baby blue numbers and the black outline. East will start the game going right to left. As for East starters, they're still waiting for them to be, as this is the longest intro video ever.
I was going to say, the intro video for Cheyenne East is taking a little bit longer than we would like here, as we're kind of set and ready. And I think the crowd here, again, a slow arriving crowd here to Story Gym. Again, they are excited right now for some high school hoops this Friday night. And we certainly are as well here on 1480 KRAE.
You got to wonder, too, how many people left for the long weekend. At least in District 1 here, nobody had to go to school today, and maybe some parents took it off, and then, of course, you have Monday as President's Day.
Or maybe some fans got stuck like we did out in Rock Springs over across again in I-80, where, again, my understanding is I-80 still closed, so at least, who knows, but I would assume that, again, Cheyenne, at least this venue will eventually get packed in full here, as it usually does, again, for the crosstown rivalry, again, between South and East, here coming up in a few short minutes.
What we'll do is we'll take a quick 30-second timeout and have the tip for you. 30-second timeout. You're watching high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Kaylee McEwen for East and Riley Van Tassel for South in the middle, and it's going to be won by East. It's going to be Buell headman pass to the left wing to Miller. They'll slow down as Miller thought about the 3 and then pulls it back down. South will start out. Looks like they're going to box in 1 Kai. Buell, who has the ball high on the right side, dribble hands off with Miller. Maybe just have Cena up top on a 2-3 and just exaggerate it and make East start their defense out high. Cena comes up with a steal as she picks the pocket of Kai. Martinez goes down low on the right block over the shot block attempt of McEwen, and it falls off the rim on the right side, and Erickson grabs the rebound for East. Miller comes up top to McEwen, loses the handle, able to regather it, and goes over to Buell. Skip pass to Miller, doesn't take the shot, a little hesitant. Now short corner on the left side to Blaney. High-low with McEwen and Blaney. McEwen's shot is too strong. Loose ball comes out of play. It's going to be last touch by Southeast basketball.
It's kind of a hectic start between these two teams so far here on the court.
Inbound pass comes to Kai in the left corner, right in front of Coach Chad DeBryan of South. Now she's driving baseline, and we'll have a hand check foul on Jaya Brown, her first, team first. As you heard Coach Chad DeBryan in the pregame say they're going to pack it in. They're going to try to make it tough on Caitlin McEwen.
And they certainly have so far here to get out of the get-go.
Down low, McEwen has 2 on her. Kick out pass a little high for Miller to try to get a shot off quickly. It's in the short left corner to Buell. Nice cut by McEwen, left-hand finish. Kaylee McEwen gets her first 2 points. Give the assist to Madison Blaney, 2-0 to start for East. Full court pressure for the Lady Thunderbirds as Van Tassel has it for South. Goes to Leggett. Leggett will slow it down on the left wing and hand it off to her point guard, Jaya Brown. Brown dribbles and almost traveled. Goes to Cena way up high. Erickson about 5 feet in front of the perimeter. Leggett out at the top as South is starting their offense way up high and working the perimeter. High screen from Cena. Now it's on the right wing to Van Tassel. Van Tassel goes to Martinez. Her first touch on offense is a pass that was last touched by Kai, and it will stay Lady Fightin Bison basketball. 2-0 our score, 6:20 left here in this first quarter.
Unlike the JUCOs, 8-minute at least quarters here for both girls and boys basketball here in the high school ranks.
Jaya Brown with the basketball gets the call from head coach Chad DeBryan for the offensive set. High screen from Van Tassel. Brown doesn't take it, goes to the left side to Leggett. Leggett trying to get into the lane. She does. Kick out pass to Martinez over the head. Saved by Martinez, comes right to Cena. Cena puts up the 5-footer, nothing but net. Very fortunate there for South as they tie the ball game up 2-2. Kai with the basketball for East. Up top now, it's Miller. Left wing, Erickson, skip pass, open for 3 is Kai on the right wing, nothing but net. It's a good rhythm shot to start for Kai Buell, and a whistle on the floor as Kai's got to tie her shoe.
And Kai Buell, you cannot give her that amount of spacing on the court, especially from behind the arc. She is that at least dangerous of a shooter, and again, South saw that front and center.
Kai got a good skip pass from Erickson to get her the ball quickly in a good spot for her to shoot it before the defense could recover. Cena with the basketball, full court pressure, and it's taken away by Erickson. Erickson over to Blaney. Blaney 1 dribble, bank shot up and in for 2. Here comes that full court pressure that causes so many problems for teams, and it's already going to get 2 turnovers in a row. Kai comes up with a steal. Erickson down low to Blaney. Extra pass to Miller. Erickson up top, wide open for 3. It's short. The rebound comes to Buell. Buell with their first rebound tonight on the offensive glass. Right wing, Erickson down low in the paint, kick over in the short corner to Blaney. Skip pass, Buell open for 3 again. Big shot up and in for 3. She's got 6 quick points. Madison Blaney finding her on a nice another skip pass for Blaney.
And that's how powerful this East High Lady Thunderbird offense can be. Again, just quick points just like that.
Across the timeline comes South to get across the full court pressure for East a little bit easier. 10-2 East with the lead. A couple of 3 balls for Kai to start. Brown step back from the left elbow, kick out to Leggett. Leggett doesn't take the 3, gets the high screen. Now goes to Van Tassel on the left block. Nice step through move, left hand shot too strong. The rebound will be a foul on Callista Martinez, it looks like, as she has her shoulders shrugged, and it is on Martinez.
So her first, team second against Cheyenne South.
McEwen will come out, Brady will come in, we'll see Madison Mirich come out, and a 30-second timeout called by Coach Chad DeBryan. We'll take a 30-second timeout as well. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. South will come out in a full court pressure off the 30-second timeout called by head coach Chad DeBryan. How about this, Nick? 4 buckets for East, 4 assists. So they're moving the basketball and they're finishing.
Yeah, it's a team that is very unselfish. It's a team that is a high-powered offense, and South is seeing that right now, front and center. Again, a team for Cheyenne East also, too, that does take advantage of turnovers.
Kai, who gets around one, throws up the 3 ball, not a rhythm shot there, and it's an air ball, be South basketball. So the first 2 really were rhythm shots. That time she was dribbling her momentum, going a little bit forward, and probably cost the extra long air ball shot by Kai. Jaya Brown gets across the timeline. It's a 3-on-2. Brown will go to the hoop and finishes with the roll in for 2. That's how she was able to get to the line last night and give South the lead with 10 seconds left against Central. 10-4 the score. That stops an 8-0 run for East. Erickson has it wide open, left wing, 3 ball. Hits off the right iron, and the rebound will come back to Erickson. Erickson goes to Blaney in the short corner. Now it's Miller. Miller holds it, waits for her post to come over to the left corner. Blaney puts up a 18-footer, rattles in and out. Martinez grabs her first rebound tonight. Jaya Brown will get it across the timeline for South. It's in the left corner off the hands of Cena, and a turnover for South. And that's, you got to play clean basketball if you're going to get an upset over the #1 team. And Nick, they haven't done it so far with 3 turnovers here in the first.
Yeah, it's been a rough get-go here in the first quarter for the Cheyenne South Lady Fighting Bison. Again, something that Coach Chad DeBryan has reiterated of how to defeat the Lady Thunderbirds.
Miller's pass over to Buell on the left wing, or right wing, is knocked out of play by Senior. 10-4 the score, 3:29 left in this first quarter on our Pepsi scoreboard. Buell looks to inbound, it comes way up top. Miller is open on the left wing, looking for her post to dive. Instead, they'll reverse court. Buell fakes the shot, gets into the lane, puts up the 10-footer. It's short off the right iron, and Martinez grabs the rebound. Martinez will take it across the timeline herself, waiting for someone to pick her up. She goes to Van Tassel. Van Tassel being guarded by Buell will kick it out to Cena. Cena skip past Mirich, who checks in, dribbles with the right hand, cut off by Blaney on the baseline. Brown at the top now with Miller, probably one of the best on-ball defenders in the state, playing defense on her back pocket. Brown trying to get into the lane. Behind the back dribble is open but doesn't take the shot. Mirich will take it on the right wing. Down low, another bad pass by South, another ill-advised turnover.
Yeah, another South High turnover there again as they are mounting up here early in this contest.
Leggett will come in for Callista Martinez, as well as Brooke Bailey for East will come in for Abby Erickson.
The first quarter that has gone by fast as well. Again, 2:40 change at least remaining here.
Just 2 fouls called thus far, both on South. As Miller stops us right before the half-court line, and Bailey has to sprint across. She's able to do so. Stops on the right wing up top. Buell with the basketball. Goes to the free throw line to Blaney. Nice step through by Blaney. Puts it high off the glass and rolls it in for 2. She's got 4 points. The lead's up to 8, 12-4 in favor of the Lady Thunderbirds. Brown trying to get it across the timeline. Stops, gets around Buell. Now it's 3-on-1. Bounce pass to Van Tassel, and her shot's too strong. Leggett grabs the offensive rebound. She puts it up. It's off the left iron, and Bailey grabs the rebound. So South not able to capitalize on that extra opportunity.
And again, on those high percentage shots, those are at least baskets that should be falling for the Lady Fighting Bison.
Blaney has it in the corner. It's going to be a long 2 in the left side. Nothing but net for Blaney. She's got 6. Her and Kai Buell both with 6 to start here. 10-point lead now for East here in the first. Leggett has it poked away from behind. Good thing for Brown. She grabs it. They had numbers for a minute, did South, but good hustle by East to get back and even it up. They'll slow it down now with 1.5 minutes left in the first quarter on our Pepsi scoreboard. Brown fakes one way, gets into the lane. 3 players converge. She steps through. She's going to be fouled, and I think they'll call it on the floor, and I believe it'll be Abby Brady with the block.
You are correct. So she'll pick up her first, team's first against Cheyenne East.
Willow Martin and Kaylee McEwen come in. Blaney and Brady come out for East. Blaney with a good first rotation there in this first quarter. A rebound, 6 points, and 2 assists. Inbound pass is thrown out of play. That is now the 5th turnover. 3 of the 5 have been because of just bad passing.
Again, these are kind of careless turnovers that you shouldn't be making at this point in time of the season. Again, with at least few remaining regular season games on the schedule.
Miller will walk it across the half-court line, looks over at Coach Wessling for the offensive set. Dribble handoff to Buell, almost loses control. Now it's in the corner to Martin. Martin's met by Brown as South will stick to their zone. Martin looking into the, trying to go down low to McEwen. In the paint is Buell. She pumps 3-4 different times, then kicks it out to Bailey for a straightaway 3. The rebound will come to McEwen, who taps it 3 times, puts it up and in with the left hand. Kaylee McEwen's got 4.
And again, McEwen has a big body there for the Lady Thunderbirds again, just kind of boxing her way out and just grabbing those rebounds.
Leggett with the basketball, had it poked away from behind, and they're going to get a foul on Kai Buell, who shakes her head in displeasure.
So she'll pick up her first, team second against the Lady Thunderbirds.
41.6 seconds left, 16-4 on the Pepsi scoreboard in favor of East as Mirich will come out for Martinez. South sticking with the full court pressure. You see the straight line for South on the inbound pass. Comes out to Brown, who's in the backcourt. Miller about a foot away from her, making her dribble to the left, it looks like, as she shades that way. Brown still goes to the right, now behind the back in the paint. 3 players convert. It's going to be a jump ball, and it will be South basketball with 27 seconds left. Not a good start in this first quarter for South. East, on the other hand, the exact opposite. Senia trying to inbound it. We'll throw it into Martinez on the left elbow. 2 players on her. She gets into the lane, puts up the right-hand shot. It's short. The high rebound will come to Leggett after a foul is called. Looks like the foul will be on South as Bailey went crashing to the floor. The foul was on Senia.
Yeah, they'll call it on Senia. So her first, team third against the Lady Fightin Bison.
20 seconds left in this first quarter. Largest lead in this first is in 12, and we're at it right now. Miller, dribble handoff to Bailey. Erickson on the left side. Now it's on the free throw line to McEwen. She faces up. Nobody guarding her. She'll take 2 steps, put up a high shot. It's off the back iron. Erickson grabs the offensive rebound. Her shot's too strong, and then it's going to be last touched by South as it goes off the foot with 0.5 seconds left on the clock. A couple of easy layups missed right there by, or at least an easy layup missed by Erickson there. Going to have to be a quick catch and shoot. Miller shoots it from the left corner. It's off the back iron, and that ends the first quarter. East with a strong first quarter. 6 points for Blaney and Buell. 16-4 lead. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Well, East with a strong first quarter, 16-4. Kai Buell with 2 threes, and Madison Blaney with 6.
It's simple enough for Cheyenne East. That Lady Thunderbird, at least offense, showing just how potent they can be. And again, Cheyenne South realizing, hey, we need to play a little bit better, at least a little cleaner basketball here.
Senia, Leggett, Brown, Van Tassel, and Martinez out on the floor for South. East will have their starting 5, Buell, Miller, McEwen, Brady, Erickson and Blaney. Erickson on the floor, almost loses control. McEwen backdoor pass to Blaney, 1 bounce, puts up the shot, it was blocked, no, a late whistle. And I believe it'll be on no, they're gonna call that on Callista Martinez, and that's a big second foul for South as Martinez, their leading scorer, has 2.
That'll be team's 4th foul called against Cheyenne South.
That will send Blaney to the line, our first trip at the free throw line for any team as Blaney hits her first. They go 1 of 2. We talked about how free throws, they are very inconsistent as East at the free throw line. It hasn't hurt them to this point, but I'm sure Coach Wessling would love to see them shoot with a better percentage tonight. And Blaney it goes ahead and goes 2 for 2 to help out with that.
Yeah, for Coach Wesley, it's a situation of where you need to get that kind of under control so it doesn't burn you in the upcoming regionals and state tournament.
18-4 the score. South with the basketball. Brown behind the back. About walked right there again as Cena has it at the top. High screen. Now in the lane goes Cena. She puts up the right-hand shot. It goes off the left iron, and the rebound will come down and be last touched by South as it went off a few hands. Van Tassel and McEwen, the main two that were there. Erickson will inbound it as it looks like they're going to have Miller be more of the ball handler tonight and give Kai a chance to move around without the ball and get open to shoot.
And she's had many opportunities to get a few three-pointers so far in this contest for Kai. 2 for 3
to start as McEwen puts up a 15-footer. It goes off the right iron. Blaney grabs the rebound. Blaney still with the basketball, kicks it over and then taken away, but a foul is called on McEwen. McEwen tried to maybe shove off the defender a little bit to give her just more space to make the play.
For Kaylee, that'll be her first, team's third against the Lady Thunderbirds.
South will have the basketball, still full court pressure for East. Jaya Brown will get it around Erickson. It's 2-on-1. Brown goes right in front of McEwen, but great hustle by Sydney Miller as you see some of that soccer speed as she pokes it away from behind. South will have the basketball underneath the hoop. Cena looking to inbound it, will lob it up top to Leggett. Now goes to Brown on the left side. Brown goes into the lane, spin move, puts up the 10-footer in the paint, rattles in and out. The rebound comes to Van Tassel. Her shot way too strong as she was expecting the contact. McEwen and Mirich get tied up. It is a jump ball, and it'll be East basketball. No, they're going to call a foul on Madison Mirich, a hold on the foul.
That's an interesting call right there.
Wait a second. I'm confused because South is coming. Okay, they're just in a full court pressure. So it is a foul called on Mirich.
So her first, team's fifth.
And Mirich came in for Martinez for South as Martinez is on the bench. Still no Autumn Shrove on the floor tonight for South. Erickson across the timeline, gets around Leggett, dribbles it to the right wing, stops, and then looks for her post. Goes to McEwen. McEwen dribbles a couple of times with the right hand. Spin around jumper, goes off the left iron after touching the glass, and Van Tassel grabs her just her first rebound tonight. Van Tassel in that win had 16 and 7 last night. Leggett with the basketball on the high left. Now down low, Van Tassel working on McEwen. Puts up the right-hand shot, too strong. McEwen grabs her third rebound tonight as Kayla McEwen's playing great defense on Riley Van Tassel.
As Cheyenne South is looking for their points, it's been quite a while. They've been on a long cold streak here.
Just 2 points scored by Madison Blaney from the free throw line as we have a hand check foul called on Senia. It's going to be her second, team 6th. So now that's 2 players in foul trouble for Coach Chad DeBrine as Brady will come in for Kaylee McEwen. And now for the first time, we'll see Autumn Shrove, who has to come in for Senia, who has 2 fouls.
And kind of pressed into service there as fouls starting to mount up for the Lady Fighting Bison.
Inbound pass comes to Blaney at the very top. Now it's in the left corner to Miller. Miller looking down low. Will now take her dribble, go skip past to Buell across court. She puts up the 5-footer. The bank shot's too long. Leggett grabs the rebound for South. Here comes Leggett looking to go coast to coast. Instead, we'll slow it down. Now she's in the right block. Nice seal by Van Tassel, but the attempt is off the mark, and then Shrove grabs the offensive rebound, and she will be fouled on a reach-in by Abby Erickson.
So 14th foul called against Cheyenne East for Abby. It will be her first.
Inbounding will be Shrove underneath the basket. Shrove looking for someone to cut and get open. Instead, we'll lob it up to Brown, and she'll run it down. Miller playing very tight defense as she's done all season to every guard she's gone up against. Not giving a lot of space. South with the basketball down by 14, 18-4. Only 2 points scored in the quarter as Jaya Brown puts up the shot, and she will be fouled by Miller. We'll see if they'll call it on the way up.
They'll actually call that on Abby Erickson again, so she'll pick up her second foul. Team's 5th against Cheyenne East.
I didn't even see Abby Erickson there, but that's her second, team 5th nonetheless, as Nick said. And Erickson will have to come out. Bailey comes in for her. Inbound pass is stolen away by Blaney. Here comes Blaney as it's 3-on-0. She'll hand the pass over to Buell. Buell too short on her layup attempt. Blaney grabs the rebound, fighting through contact, lays it in for 2.
So the first field goal by either team here coming in the second quarter. Again, 3 minutes, or at least around 3 minutes off the clock so far.
Leggett has it taken away by Buell. She comes up with her first steal. This layup opportunity by Buell's up and in for 2. Make that her second steal for Kai. Averaging just over 4 steals a game. Blaney comes up with a steal. It's the 9th turnover for South, but then Van Tassel does a good job taking it right back. Just the 2nd turnover for East. Leggett goes up for the shot, and she will be fouled by Miller on the way up as Leggett was pushing the tempo. Now Sydney Miller has 1 foul.
She'll have her first team 6 against the Lady Thunderbirds.
We'll see Mariah Pena come in for Mirich. They're not going to say it was in the act of shooting, as Pena will be underneath the basket to inbound it. Just one post player out on the floor for South. That's Van Tassel. Pena still trying to get it in. She does so to Shrove. Puts up the right-hand shot over Brady. Well off the mark, and Blaney grabs a rebound. Her 4th. Blaney dribbling it across the timeline. Nice stutter step. Puts up the shot. She's fouled on the way up by Shrove.
So 17 foul called against Cheyenne South, which will put East in the bonus for the remainder of this first half. And Shrove will pick up her first foul.
Blaney will go back to the line. Blaney, an asset when she can sit there and be aggressive, grab the rebound, and just head up the floor. Blaney hits her first free throw. 61% coming into the game from the charity stripe.
This is a Lady Fightin Bison team that has not hit a field goal in about 8 or so minutes in this game. They've been on an extreme cold streak here.
Well, one of their top scorers on the bench as well. And for Van Tassel, every time she touches the ball, she's got a brick wall on Kayla McEwen right behind her as Blaney goes 2 for 2 that time at the line. She's 4 for 4 on the night. She does have a team high 12 points.
As it is now a 20-point lead in favor of Cheyenne East here.
A little bit of a different start for East as they had struggled just a little bit last night. Actually, we're down in that first quarter against Laramie, 16-12. Brown with the basketball. Of course, last night, South was able to erase a 12-point deficit in the 4th quarter with 5.5 minutes left. Pena with the basketball, stops at the right elbow, bounce pass down low to Mirich. Then she throws the pass where she thought Shrove should be, and it's going to be well out of play, or roll out of bounds in the backcourt for South. The 10th turnover for the Lady Fightin Bison. East will have the basketball with 4:15 left on the Pepsi scoreboard. Miller with the left hand goes over to Martin, who checks into the game for East. Up top is Brooke Bailey. Buell in the left corner. She's open for 3. Got it again. Buell hits her 3rd three-pointer tonight. It's a 23-point lead for East. 27-24 or 27-4.
As this game is now starting to get well out of hand for Cheyenne South.
Pena with the basketball, comes in the middle to Mirich. Mirich did a good job keeping it away from Buell. Now Van Tassel has it. Van Tassel puts up the 5-footer, and that's her first bucket tonight as it goes nothing but net.
And that is the first basket for Cheyenne South here in this quarter.
27-6, East with the lead. Buell with the basketball for the Lady T-Birds on the right wing. Up top, Bailey will dribble it to the perimeter. Pena picks her up, now goes left wing. In the middle, Brady with the free throw attempt. It's on the floor, and Martin throws it away. Martin kind of collapsed with the player on her backside. Brown has the basketball as she picked up the steal. Just the 3rd turnover for East, though. As Pena tried to go baseline, she traveled before putting the ball on the floor. That's the 11th turnover now for South.
And something I mentioned in pregame for Cheyenne South in order to upset this #1 ranked Cheyenne East team. And yeah, to squelch those turnovers that they committed a lot in the previous matchup between these two. And again, Cheyenne South right now just having difficulty against this East team.
Nice backdoor cut by Miller. She tried to stop and catch it and shoot it all at the same time, and it slides right off her hands and goes out of the play. That's just the 4th turnover for East. Asinia will come back in for Brown, and we'll see Leggett come in for, I don't know who, Shrove, I guess, as Shrove comes out. 27-6 the score. Yeah, it's the perfect storm going for East right now. They're taking care of the basketball, and South's giving it right back to them. And they're also hitting the outside shot, as well as getting some good luck inside as Miller picks up her 2nd foul, trying to dive in for the pass.
And that'll be 17th foul called against Cheyenne East, so both teams in the bonus.
Blaney comes right over to the bench to come back in, and Miller will take a seat. So Van Tassel with just 2 points, just 1 of 5 shooting tonight, will go to the line for a chance to get some easy ones. 59% for the Lady Fightin Bison sophomore big as their free throw attempt rattles in and out, and Blaney grabs the rebound for East, her 5th one. So Blaney on her way to a double-double tonight. Buell with the basketball, slides it over to the right wing to Bailey. Bailey's shot too strong. Blaney grabs another rebound, stops in the corner, goes to Kai. Kai in the paint, puts up the shot, rolls in from the right iron. So Blaney picks up the rebound and her third assist tonight. 29-6 the score, 23-point lead for East, ties a game high. Leggett has it way up top as East is now in a zone. So they look, actually it looks like a box and one with Martin fronting Van Tassel. They're doubling Van Tassel. Cena has it on the right elbow, goes to the baseline, and then puts it high off the glass, so high it just rolled on the very top of the backboard. And it will be East basketball as McEwen comes in for Abby Brady.
You just kind of wonder right now for Cheyenne South, is it a team that is kind of gassed after the effort that they put up last night, again, coming up with the upset against Cheyenne Central. You just wonder if they're a little fatigued at this point of what they had to do on the court last night.
Yeah, that adrenaline had to wear off at some point as Martin's open for three, doesn't take it though. Skip pass comes to Bailey on the left wing. Bailey drives into the paint, kick out to Buell. Buell's now doubled, and then Pena right on her backside. Bailey open for three on the left wing, short, and the rebound will come to Leggett, her third one tonight. For South, Leggett, nobody's stopping her. Nice drive and dish to Van Tassel, who finishes it from the left side, her fourth point tonight. 29-8 the score in favor of East. Buell looking to go coast to coast. Nice drive and dish to McEwen, who puts it high off the glass and rolls it in. She's got 6 for Buell. She picks up her first assist tonight. 31-8 the score now in favor of East with 1:12 left on the Pepsi scoreboard. Pena with it. 15-footer from the right side is an air ball. Van Tassel grabs the offensive rebound. Van Tassel, her 10-footer from the left side. Martin grabs the shot that was a bit long on the right side. Headman pass to Blaney. Blaney loses control. We'll slow it down. We're under a minute here in the second quarter. Buell with a deep three from the right side. Rattles in and out. Martin's there with the easy rebound, but can't make the bunny layup.
You missed a point-blank shot there.
Senior into the lane, runs right into McEwen, and her shot goes high off the glass, and then it looks like a off-ball foul as Pena had a good position on Buell. Well, they called the foul on number 5.
So they actually call that on Pena.
I think Coach Chad DeBrine's confused as well, as Coach Chad DeBrine's probably saying the same thing that what we were looking at. It looked like Pena had the position inside, but I guess not, as she'll pick up her first.
Team's 8th against Cheyenne South. Kind of a questionable call there.
So Martin will go to the line, 59% on the season. First free throw is short, and the rebound will come to McEwen. McEwen, kick out to Blaney. Here comes Bailey and Kai as they were talking to Coach Wessling into the front court. Bailey goes into the lane. Her shot's off the left iron, but she's fouled on the way up.
And that'll be called against Pena as well, so her second, team's 9th.
As Bailey, 0 for 3 from behind the arc to start, will have a chance to get her first 2 points from the free throw line. Her first shot bangs hard off the left iron and falls to the floor. As East started 4 for 4 from the free throw line thanks to Madison Blaney, but now 0 for their last 2. Bailey's second free throw, nothing but net. That looked like a much better shot by the senior. She gets her first point. They go 5 for 7 at the line so far, 32-8 the score. 24-point lead, largest here in this first half with 25 seconds left in the second quarter. Senior gets it across the timeline, dribbles with the left hand, now trying to go into the lane with the right hand, and it's almost taken away by Blaney. Good help defense. Leggett, kick out. It's Van Tassel on the left elbow, now driving hard, puts up the shot over McEwen and gets it to roll in. Good, strong take there by Van Tassel. 32-10 the score with under 5 seconds left. Buell across the timeline will step back, fake one way, puts up the shot at the buzzer. It's an air ball. Good defense by Pena to stay straight up, but that will be the score at half. 32-10 with the Lady Thunderbirds controlling the tempo from the get-go. We'll take a 1-minute timeout and have our halftime show for you here from Historic Story Gymnasium. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. 32-10, East with the lead over South, and Nick, East is dominated from the tip-off. They got the tip, they started running, and they've been causing turnovers ever since with the 11 turnovers in the first half for South.
Well, Cheyenne East, basically what they are proving right now is, hey, we are the #1 team unanimously for a reason. And again, Cheyenne South is at least on the kind of bad end of that, so to speak. Again, for Cheyenne East, they have been playing a perfect game, or at least near a perfect game here tonight. Again, whether it is taking advantage of turnovers, getting those shots to fall from, playing very tight defense against the Lady Fightin Bison. Right now, again, give all the credit to Cheyenne East. They're showing of what they've been doing, at least for 21 games at this point in time, of just pure domination on the court.
And it looks like maybe some of that adrenaline from last night's win kind of wore off as South got off to a slow start. We talked to Coach Chad DeBrine in that pregame show, talked about the importance of getting off to a quick start, and he said he's really liked their starts, but I'm sure he's in the locker room right now talking about the lackluster start that they had. Is they only scored 4 in the first quarter and they scored 6 in the second quarter. Yeah. Those 6 points coming with probably with the 3 minutes left in the second quarter.
Well, again, 10 points you allowed an entire half against a team for Cheyenne East, and Coach, at least Eric Wesley, got to be very proud of his Lady Thunderbirds and what they did, that defensive effort. And again, it's something to prove out to the rest of Class 4A around the state of Wyoming of saying, hey, we're not also a powerful offense. Our defense can keep you well out of this game. And again, 22-point lead right now for Cheyenne East over the South Lady Fightin Bison.
Let's take you through our stats from that first half. For South, they were led by Riley Van Tassel with 6 points. Senia has 2 points. Jaya Brown has 2 points. Callista Martinez was held scoreless in that first half. She picked up 2 fouls in that first quarter, and she sat on the bench for the most part after that. For East, 13 points for Kai Buell to lead the way. Madison Blaney had 12, 6 for Kaylee McEwen, 1 for Brooke Bailey. So for East, Erickson and Sydney Miller held scoreless. Of course, they haven't needed between the 25 points between Blaney and Buell, the killer bees of sorts. As for South, they went 0 for 1 from the free throw line. East went 5 of 7. Again, as we said earlier, 11 turnovers for South to just 4 for the East Lady Thunderbirds. We'll take another 2-minute timeout. We'll see if we can't try to catch up with either head coach Jeff Bailey or head coach Rusty Horsley. But right now, a 2-minute timeout. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back inside Historic Story Gymnasium. East with the 32-10 lead over South. And Nick, if you're Coach Chad DeBrine, you got to try to just say, hey, look, we were down late last night. we can't look at it as being down 22. We just got to kind of chip away, just kind of win in 4-minute spurts.
Basically, of what, again, Coach Chad Bryant, of what he needs to say for his Lady Fight Bison at this point in time is kind of dress them and saying, hey, we need to win small battles at this point in time of, again, getting over clean turnovers. Also, to, again, those point-blank shots that they are missing right now on the offensive zone. They need to take care of that. Again, for Coach Chad Bryant, it's pretty much of win the small battles, then we can look at winning a quarter or possibly coming back into this game. Again, it's the small things you got to look at to up in this very dominant, very powerful Cheyenne East Lady Thunderbirds team here tonight.
As far as other games that are going on, I believe this 5:30 start was the
it was kind of
first games. I think everything else was at 6 p.m. Of course, it said this game was supposed to start at 6 p.m. But as far as the other matchups go, Laramie is at the field house over at Central High School, just up north of us, a little northwest of us-ish.
It's within the Cheyenne, at least, area.
Right.
So, but for Cheyenne Central, again, as they'll play host to Laramie Lady Plainsman, and Plainsman coming up. Big games for Cheyenne Central as well, again, for the Lady Indians to kind of lick their wounds, so to speak, of what happened to them last night, again, losing to Cheyenne South. And again, what I call at least a upset victory for the Lady Fighting Bison. So for Cheyenne Central, they're looking to, again, rebound after last night's loss. For the Central High Indians, again, they need to get the victory over Laramie coming up, again, as they lost to Cheyenne East as well. So for both Central teams looking to at least rebound, essentially coming up here. Actually, excuse me, Central actually defeated South, as I'm getting my games mixed up. So they actually defeated the South High Fighting Bison. So looking to carry the momentum and defeat Laramie, as they are, again, right now, every team in Class 4A worried about that seeding, or at least get kind of everything all focused for the upcoming regional tournament, again, which will take place here in Story Gym in a few weeks.
Other Class 4A action, Cody's at number 5, Kelly Walsh, then Sheridan is at Campbell County, and then Rock Springs is at Riverton. That's the other games going on tonight. Well, I guess I should probably look at the right date. No, that's the right date. So those are the other games. Those are the other games. The days start to mix together after a certain amount of time,
well,
as we get close to March.
I was going to say the days kind of stuck together as well for myself, where, again, 3 days spent out in lovely Rock Springs with LCCC basketball due to the wintry conditions out there, again, across I-80. So, but again, here we are, high school hoops action here tonight live at Story Gym. Also, too, at least one of our sponsors do want to mention while we have this opportunity, again, an extended halftime for both the girls and boys games here tonight for Cheyenne South and Cheyenne East. Again, for the Cheyenne Stampede, they'll be in action tonight, one-game homestand this weekend tonight, 7:35 at the Bison Event Center as they play host to the Northern Colorado Eagles, again, coming up tonight there in town. So, again, high school basketball and also, too, junior hockey happening here tonight.
Well, we'll go ahead and take a sizable timeout as we still got about 8 minutes left of our halftime as we have the junior ROTC out doing their thing out on the floor here at Historic Story Gymnasium. So a 3-minute timeout as you're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back inside historic Story Gymnasium. East with a 32-10 lead over the South Lady Fightin Bison. And Nick, Kai Buell started things early, hitting a couple of three-pointers, and then between her and Madison Blaney, they really have shown their dominance, and we've seen really them just get out in the transition and just beat South down the floor.
Well, and again, shown their dominance. It's nothing new for Cheyenne East of what they've done, again, across 4A. Again, with McEwen, with Kai Buell, again, one of the top players for Coach Eric Wessling on his squad. And it is what it is at this point. Again, can't stress the fact that they are the unanimous #1 team for a reason. And again, they're showing it once again here on the floor, at least here in Story Gym on a neutral court. So again, give credit to Cheyenne East and Kai Buell, the transfer from Rock Springs, again on the court, again showing her at least talents. Same with Kaylee McEwen, again a senior McEwen who will graduate. So again, that's a big body that Eric Wessling has to at least enjoy for this season, and then kind of worry about, again, kind of, at least for what we're seeing with Kaylee, she's been, again, using that big body. She's been able to dominate that inside and just kind of push away the South High players tonight of just, again, on the offensive, defensive zones.
Yeah, and one way you can tell that as well is the fact that East is out rebounding South 17-7 as well. So that's 10 extra opportunities that East has had over South, and that's going to hurt you as well. And then the size, it's not even just Kaylee McEwen's size. If you look at Kai as far as a guard goes, she may not be very tall, but she's a pretty strong player. She has a really good low center of gravity, does a great job boxing out. Same with Abby Erickson. Yeah. She's not a prototypical guard where she's, you know, small for that standpoint. She's a bigger guard, and she can dominate on that side, inside, when it comes to getting the ball off the glass.
Well, interesting to see how at least both teams come out on the floor again, as we're a few minutes away from the start of the second half between, again, the South High Lady Fightin Bison and East High Lady T-Birds. Again, coming up here in a few short minutes. What we're going to do is take a 2-minute timeout, and we'll have the start of the second half coming up right here on 1480 KRAE.
Few seconds away from the start of the third quarter. South will come out with Senia Van Tassel, Martinez, Brown, and Leggett. South, I believe, will start with the basketball, as they'll now go right to left on your computer screen and your radio dial. East will come out with their starting five: Blaney, Buell, Erickson, Miller, and Kaylee McEwen. Inbound pass will come to Brown into the backcourt. Blaney up top to force her to the right side and maybe see if they can get a trap in that corner. Brown instead picks up her dribble and goes to Martinez. Kick over to the corner, another bad pass And a turnover to start the first possession here for South. Not a great way to start the third quarter.
No, I was about to say for Cheyenne South to get back into this contest and again potentially upset East High. They need to come out crisp and clean here in this second half. Again, start out very strong here in the third.
Buell has it on the high right side. Now skip passes to Blaney in the left corner. Blaney kick out to Buell. Fakes the pass one way. Now we'll go into the paint to McEwen. 2 players on her. Step back, bank shot. Too strong. Grabs her own rebound. Puts up the right hand shot. She's failed and one. Kaylee McEwen picks up her 5th rebound. It's another offensive rebound for East as well.
So the foul is going to be called. It looks like it's going to be against Jaya Brown. So first team foul called against Cheyenne South, second against Brown.
Kaylee going to the line for the first time tonight. McEwen's 42% on the season, 19 of 45. And that one's flat and off the back iron twice, and the rebound comes right into the lap of Blaney. Blaney kick out pass is stolen away by Jaya Brown. Brown has to pick up her dribble. McEwen playing good defense on her. As for Brown, she picks up her 2nd steal tonight. Just the 5th turnover for East. Down low, going hard to the ground was Erickson, no call. The shot by Van Tassel's too strong, and Sina grabs the rebound as Erickson's slow to get up, and Sina gets her first 2 points in the second half, 4 overall, 34-12 the score in favor of East.
Looks like Abby Erickson, though, is going to be okay for Coach Erica Wesley.
Buell's left alone, way up top on the right wing, thought about the shot, and then goes to Erickson on the left side. Now it's Miller. She hasn't shot the ball too many times tonight as McEwen has it on the right block, and she banks it in over Van Tassel for an easy 2. She's the second player now in double figures with 4 points, with 10 points. 36-12 the score now, 24-point lead, matches a game high. Full court pressure still for East, a little more lax on the full court as Martinez puts up the shot. It's banks high off the glass, off the front iron. The rebound comes to Blaney. Blaney has 8 rebounds now. Miller across the timeline, almost taken away by Sina. She's in the right corner. Goes to Blaney, who stays in the right corner as well. Martinez doing good job deflecting the ball. Kick out left wing 3. Buell hits off the left iron. Miller grabs the rebound for East. Miller, turnaround jumper from 5 feet. Banks hard off the back iron, and Brown grabs the rebound for South. South in transition comes Brown. Kick out to Martinez. She puts up the 15-footer from the right side. Nothing but net for Callista Martinez. She picks up her first 2 points, and Coach Chad DeBryan's going to call a 30-second timeout. We'll take a quick one as well. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Well, not the third quarter, Nick, that South wanted, as Kaylee McEwen has come out scoring some buckets down below and getting extra opportunities in doing so.
Well, for Cheyenne South, though, it's improvement of what we saw there in the first half, where, again, they're already putting up 4 points here so far in this quarter. Again, they only put up 4 points in the entire first quarter to start out this contest. So at least offense, though, they're getting those putbacks, they're getting those easy shots to fall through. So at least for the Fightin Bison, at least Lady Fightin Bison, at least offense, though, is at least picking up pace so far here in the third.
Yeah, Callista Martinez finally getting on the scoreboard with 2 minutes and into this third quarter. So she went scoreless for a little while as East will have the basketball. Brady comes in for McEwen. Miller has it taken away initially, and then a tie-up between her and Sina, and East will have the basketball as the possession arrow is in favor of the Lady Thunderbirds. Good defense by Sina. Sina started the evening with a pick pocket of Buell, but wasn't able to score off of it. Erickson into the paint, bounce pass to Blaney on the right block, puts up the shot from the left side, gets it to climb in through the left iron. Her first 2 points in this second half, lead up back up to 24.
And give credit to the East Side Lady Thunderbirds of how aggressive they're being right now inside the paint against Cheyenne South.
Erickson not on the scoreboard yet, but does have 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. Leggett with the basketball, goes to Brown at the top of the arc, fakes one way, now dribbles with the right hand towards the right side. Pass through a couple of hands, and then comes right to Miller, and Miller's fouled as she was trying to get the pass to Blaney, and I believe the foul will be on Martinez. That's going to be Callista's 3rd foul, team 2nd As for Sydney Miller, who's averaging about 3.5 steals a game, picks up her first one.
Kind of almost for Calista Martinez right there. It just seemed like a frustration foul for.
More zone pressure for South. It looks like a 3-2 pressure. Buell has it at the top, goes into the paint. Erickson puts up the shot. She traveled before she was able to get the shot up. Good call by the official right in front of the East bench. The 6th turnover for the Lady Thunderbirds. Brown with the basketball, goes between the legs, walking it as Blaney not putting a lot of pressure on her, just trying to force the basketball one way. Cena gets it across the timeline for South. Double team coming. Brown is hounded by Buell and Blaney. And now it's a tie-up. Buell steals it away. Buell looking for the steal and 2. Double pumps, rolls it in. Kai with another steal, her 3rd. She now has a game-high 15.
Either way, that looked like it was going to be disastrous for Cheyenne South as Brown was walking a tightrope across that timeline.
Brown gets it at the top of the arc, drives into the lane, crossover, kick out, Cena with it. Cena goes to the corner, Leggett, left corner 3, puts it up, it's off the right iron, over the backboard. Martinez tried to save it, but it was out of play once it went over the backboard. Pena and Mirich will come in. Brown, somebody else has to come out. Martinez will come out. Martinez tried to hang in there. They tried to go like a pull the goalie there, go 6-on-5.
Trying to do a little power play on the court right there.
26-point lead, largest of the night for East as Buell comes across the timeline. Miller has the basketball, dribbles with the right hand, goes to the corner to Brady, high-low. Erickson's pass is above her head, but a foul as Van Tassel had both hands on the back of Erickson. And for Van Tassel, it will be her first, team 3rd.
So 3 fouls have all been called against Cheyenne South here so far in the second half.
Lob in to Brady. Brady banks it in for 2.
And that is just cash money for Abby right there.
Her first 2 points tonight, and for Erickson, that's her 4th assist. Leggett fakes it one way, goes back to Cena as they need to get across the timeline. They do so by getting it to Van Tassel, who hands it off to Leggett. Lob pass. Buell jumps up high and comes up with another steal. It's 2-on-1. Goes over to Miller, banks it in for 2. Does Sydney Miller, her first 2 points tonight. As for Buell, she now has 2 assists and 4 steals
and this is
to go with her 15.
The largest lead for Cheyenne East tonight, up by 30.
Blaney almost comes up with another steal. Now she's Senia over in the corners, double team, and Blaney will pop it away. It's on the floor, but a foul is called on Leggett for pushing Blaney down to the floor. Blaney with another steal, her 3rd. It's now the 15th turnover for South, and I think they're actually going to call that foul on Blaney.
Yeah, they call
instead.
it on Blaney, so she'll pick up her first, team's first against Cheyenne East here in the 3rd quarter.
Martin, Bailey come in with McEwen. Blaney, Miller, and Brady come out for East. Mirich, Pena, Leggett, Senia, and Van Tassel on the floor still for South.
And do want to mention, at least for the high score ranks, especially with the lead as large as it is, and 40 points is where it gets to the point of a running clock here at Story Gym.
Cena has it with the top. Martin playing defense on her as East is now switched to a man defense. Pena fakes with the shot, good dribbles with the left hand, then picks up her dribble with Bailey playing defense right on top of her. Cena in the corner, nice pump fake, gets her defender to get out of the way. Her shot's short, and the rebound will be last touched by East as it went right through the legs of Buell, who couldn't grab onto it. 44-14 with 2:58 on the Pepsi scoreboard. East with the lead. They're trying to lead wire to wire. It has been tied just once. So it won't be a wire-to-wire lead, but have been tied once. That was a 2-2. Van Tassel shot over McEwen, banks off the right iron twice, and then Bailey grabs her 2nd rebound. Bailey going across the timeline herself, still dribbling it all the way into the corner. Now goes to Erickson in the left block. Erickson bounce pass to Martin, fakes it, goes baseline, and a hand check foul called on Mirich.
So 14th foul called against Cheyenne South. For Mirich, it'll be her 2nd.
Buell will inbound it right in front of the cheerleaders for the Lady Thunderbirds. Inbound pass will come in to McEwen. There's a bullet thrown to her. Double pump shot goes off the glass, off the front iron, and Senia grabs the rebound for South, her first one tonight. Senia walks it across the timeline, dribble handoff to Leggett, who calls out the play. 4 out, 1 in. Now it's a 5 out motion offense for South. Going up against this man defense. Van Tassel looking for someone to cut, flash high. Instead goes to Cena. She puts up the left wing 3. That rattles in for Felicia Cena. She's got 7 to lead their way for the team. 44-17, lead back to 27.
And that's something that Chad DeBryan is very happy to see right there, that the Lady Fightin Bison, again, putting points on the board.
First 3-ball hit for South tonight on just their 3rd opportunity. Nice popcorn passing for East. McEwen shot well off the mark, though, as they got her a good opportunity. Van Tassel picks up her 3rd rebound. South with the basketball, down by 27. Senior with the basketball is picked up by Kai Buell, thrown over to Van Tassel, fakes one way, goes into the paint. We'll have to kick it out with great defense by McEwen. Leggett drives into lane, big shot, too strong. Van Tassel with the offensive rebound and the lay-in for 2. She's got 8. And the lead is now cut to 25.
Give credit to Riley on there again, using her height.
Martin with a 10-footer from the left side. The rebound comes to Van Tassel for South. So a couple of stops and a couple of buckets for South. They're on a little 5-0 run. Pena fakes the shot, goes in the lane, throws it over the head of Van Tassel, right into the arms of the waiting Erickson. Another turnover off an ill-advised pass. On the other side, Buell misses their first shot, another easy lay-in that we've seen Buell miss tonight. You don't see her miss too many of those. Left corner 3 by Buell. She doesn't miss that one. So that's her 4th 3-pointer.
You trade up a 2 and get a 3 instead. I think Guy Buell is very happy with that kind of mathematics.
Well, yeah, that's the Golden State Warriors, right? 3's more than 2.
Well, you missed the layup, and instead I'll just take a 3.
Yeah. 47-19, lead back up to 28. It's been as high as 30 tonight. Up high, Willow Martin playing defense on Pena. Now goes to Leggett on the left side. We're under 20 seconds now. Mirich on the baseline. May have gotten away with the travel. Instead, it's a turnover. Martin comes up with a steal. It's the 17th turnover, as poked away from behind with the basketball is Buell, but she'll be fouled on the play. And the foul is on, I don't know if he's saying wait or if it's on 5. No, it's on Senior.
Yeah, he was saying, hey, you all need to go back to the bench here.
Right.
So Senior will pick up her 3rd foul, team's 5th against the Lady Fightin Bison.
Andrea Dimas, Jaya Brown, Autumn Shrove come in for South. Miller, Brady, Bailey check in for East. Inbounding it with 10.5. Bailey, right corner 3 is going to be short, and the rebound will come out to Miller, but a foul off the ball. And I believe the foul will be on East. It's going to be on Sydney Miller, her 3rd, team 2nd. As we'll see Cheyenne Alvarado come in for Miller, who has 3 fouls with 5.8 left in the 3rd quarter.
Got a few players for both teams in foul difficulty.
Brown picks up the basketball, 3 seconds on the clock. Now 2 as she goes into the lane, puts up the shot before the horn. It rolls in and out. Score after 3 quarters, East 47, South 19, a 1-minute timeout. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Start of the 4th quarter, South will have the basketball with Shrove, Mirich, Dimas, Senia, and Brown out on the floor for South. For East, they'll counter with Blaney, Bailey, Erickson, Miller, and Brady. South will have the basketball. Andrea with it. She'll get it across the timeline. Pass thrown over towards Sena. Knocked out a play by Abby Erickson.
Well, here's the 4th quarter where Cheyenne South at least came from behind double-digit, again, defeating Central High, the Lady Indians, last night. Let's see if they can at least pull off another miracle here tonight.
This one will be a little bit bigger than the one last night as Shrove misses the first shot. Brady comes up with the rebound. Her first rebound tonight. Nice pass over to Erickson, puts up the shot. It's short, and the rebound comes to Jaya Brown. Brown across the timeline with the right-hand dribble, goes to Dimas in the left corner. Kick up top, Brown open for three on the left side. It's going to be way long off the back iron, and the rebound will come out to Bailey for East. Bailey grabs her third rebound. Miller across the timeline in the front court, running it down, may have gotten away with the carry. She did, and actually Brown will be called for the block.
So Jaya Brown will pick up her third foul, team 6 against Cheyenne South.
Brown will come out, Leggett will come in for South.
And Cheyenne South with 16 fouls, East only 2 here in the second half.
Blaney has it in the middle of everybody. Her shot is thrown up and it in and out. Mirich grabs the rebound for South. And she had it about 5 feet away, straight away inside the paint. Cena, right corner three. She hit one in the third quarter. Her shot is short. Miller with a great box out, grabs the rebound, then loses control as she falls to the floor. Being helped up by Mirich and Erickson as we'll see Buell and Martin come in. Blaney will take a seat as well as Erickson. Just the 7th turnover in 3 quarters and change for Cheyenne East tonight.
And something that Eric Wesling's got to be very proud of.
Nice drive by Dimas on our backdoor cut and fined by Mirich. Dimas will go to the line to shoot 2 as she was fouled by, I think they're going to call that on Willow Martin. It's her first, team 3rd. 2 for 5 on the season from the free throw line is Andrea Dimas as her first one hits off the right iron, backboard, and then falls to the floor.
Kind of a rare free throw miss by, again, both teams. Not a whole lot of free throw shots by either team as well tonight.
Just the 3rd one coming for South, looking for their first free throw hit, and it's very short off the front iron. Martin grabs the rebound. Martin grabs her 4th. Yeah, as Nick, you were just saying, just 11 free throws attempted through 3 quarters and change. Buell with the left-hand dribble, throws it over to Miller. Miller did a good job keeping that from flying into the student section. Martin left all alone from the left elbow. It rattles in and out. Brady grabs the rebound, banks it in for 2. Another putback from the bigs of Cheyenne East. It's a 30-point lead again.
And Cheyenne East has just been dominant on positioning themselves, getting those offensive rebounds.
Senior with the basketball goes to Leggett. Starting the offense up high. Dimas gets into the paint. Kick out to Cena on the left wing. South starting their offense really high as Schroe gets in the lane. She tries to pass it down low. Her pass is blocked. Martin grabs the loose ball on the steal, and a jump ball is called. And I believe East will still have the basketball off the jump ball as Pena will come in for Schroe.
As the East Side Lady Thunderbirds will inbound this basketball.
18 turnovers now for South to just 7 for East. We don't keep track of every shot taken, but I wouldn't be shocked if East has put up dang near 15 to 20 more shots than South tonight. Miller gets into the lane, puts up the shot, falls hard to the floor. Brady grabs the rebound as Miller's still on the floor. Brady is fouled on the way up as she's now up on her feet.
And she hit pretty hard on the floor.
You can hear that thud all the way up here.
Yeah.
She looks like she's just fine. One of the tougher players on this Lady Thunderbird team.
As that foul was called against Mirich, so she'll pick up her 3rd, team 7th against Cheyenne South. So East Lady Thunderbirds in the bonus for the remainder of this contest.
Brady's first free throw attempt falls flat on the back iron and falls off to the right as Van Tassel, Martinez, and Brown comes in for South. Erickson will come in for Bailey. So for South, they're for East, they're now 5 of 9 with their 10th free throw coming. Brady, short off the right iron. Martinez grabs the rebound. Martinez had 18 points and 7 rebounds last night in that win as she'll turn the ball over. Nice dive to the floor by Miller. Everybody's diving to the floor, and now we got a whistle. We got a push foul called on Abby Erickson. Her 3rd, team 4th. As that was a scramble for the basketball. As I was saying, Martinez had 18 points and 7 rebounds last night. Just has 2 points and 3 rebounds in this one. Still a 30-point lead with 5:45 left in the 4th quarter. East has led all but a little bit. It was only tied 2-2, and that's it. Pena with the basketball, 2 players on her, dribbles to the right side, now stops, goes to Jaya Brown at the top. Brown, bounce pass on the right block. Fantastic shot over Brady. Goes off the front iron a couple of times. Senior grabs the offensive rebound, then stolen away by Martin. That's the 19th turnover. Good job there by Martin to dig in on Felicia Sina. Martin's got 3 steals. Shots put up, off the mark. Martinez grabs her 4th rebound, hands it off to the point guard, Jaya Brown. Nobody picking her up until the top of the arc. Pena open. Will take it into the lane, stops on the left block, tries to throw it out, and a foul is called. But that's on Erickson. That's her 4th, and that's who it is called on.
So her 4th, team's 5th against Cheyenne East.
DeMoss and Leggett come in. Pena and Brown will take a seat for South.
Actually, they put it up for actually number 21 here.
There's not a 21 on their
our
team.
roster, yes.
So they definitely meant 31. So her 4th. Inbound comes to Dumas, now back in the left block to Sina. Sina back up top. Leggett on the left wing, now Martinez on the right block. Shot over Brady, misses. Van Tassel grabs the offensive rebound and puts it back for 2. Van Tassel now with quietly 10 points and 6 rebounds. Erickson gets cut off by Martinez, and they're going to call a block on Callista Martinez. That's her 4th foul, team 8th. So that will send Erickson to the line to shoot 1-1.
So again, a lot of players right now for both teams. That foul difficulty, again, few away from fouling out of this contest.
Buell back in with Blaney. And McEwen's in for Brady. As Erickson will get a chance with their first. Try to earn her a 2nd one. No, it's too long, and Martinez grabs the rebound, her 5th now. As for East, they are now 5 of 11 from the free throw line. Sina into the lane, kick over pass to Martinez. Martinez dribbles up, puts it up from 5 feet. Rainbow shot up and in for 2. 49-23, 26-point lead for East. It's been as high as 30. As the clock continues to run, 4:20 left on the Pepsi scoreboard. Buell dribbles with the right hand, reach in by Sina. So Buell will go to the line to shoot 1-1.
Team's 9th foul called against Cheyenne South.
And now for Sina, that's her 4th foul. So Martinez and Sina both with 4 fouls. And for Callista Martinez, frustrating night. She's been in foul trouble the whole night. As Erickson comes out and Brooke Bailey comes back in for East. Blaney, again, just 2 rebounds away from a double-double. As for Kai, she hits the first free throw. She'll earn herself 1 more. Kai, 2nd free throw on the way. Rattles in and out, and Martinez grabs another rebound. Leggett up top to DeMoss on the left side, goes in the lane, nice bounce pass, but swiping at it twice with the left hand was Van Tassel as the ball goes out of play towards the South cheerleader. She wasn't able to grab it. 20 turnovers now for South, and I'd say dang near half of them have been just bad passes, Nick.
Yeah, again, kind of miscommunication out there on the floor from the South High Lady Fightin' Bison.
Buell, nice behind the back dribble, gets in the lane, hop step, leaves it for Blaney. Blaney misses her first shot, then loses control of it. It was poked away by Leggett. I don't know if Buell misses that on purpose so she can grab her 9th rebound or what. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure she did.
Yeah. Again, for Chad DeBryant and Cheyenne South, again, it's looking to be a losing effort here against Cheyenne East. But again, for what this team is, again, it's a very young squad out there. Only 3 seniors on this team, as we're going to have a timeout.
It's a full timeout called by head coach Chad DeBryant, so we'll take a 1-minute timeout here as well. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back inside Historic Story Gymnasium. 3:52 left in the fourth quarter. 50-23 is the score on our Pepsi scoreboard, and East will have the basketball underneath the hoop. Buell, McEwen, Miller, Blaney, Bailey, Shrove, Mirich, Van Tassel Senior, and Pena for South. Inbound pass comes to Bailey. Left corner three. Got it to go this time. Brooke Bailey hits her first three-pointer tonight, and for Kai, she picks up her third assist.
And the lead is back up to 30 for Cheyenne East.
Long pass comes to Mirich on the right wing, picked up by Buell down low. Van Tassel, two players converge on her, tries to step through, loses the ball, and then regathers. Mirich now driving baseline, stops, and a travel is called on Mirich, the 21st turnover. It was going to be a travel, or Buell was going to pick up her fifth steal tonight. It goes, and instead it is the travel. Full court pressure for South. As the impound pass comes to Blaney, up by 30 are the Lady Thunderbirds. Senior playing full court defense on Buell. Buell behind the back dribble will go to the right wing to Bailey. Blaney puts up the right elbow jumper for good, for two, and it's good. Her first bucket since the third quarter.
And now the largest lead for Cheyenne East at 32 here.
Senior walks across the timeline. East out in their 1-2-1-1 full court pressure, soft full court pressure. It's down low. Van Tassel has it poked away from behind, and Miller comes up with her second steal tonight. 22nd turnover for South. Buell has it in the paint. Kick over to Blaney on the right corner. Now Miller fakes the shot, gets into the lane. Nice left hand finish, but too strong. Blaney grabs her 10th rebound, puts it up, and is fouled on the way up. So for Blaney, 2 offensive rebounds in this fourth quarter gives her a double-double tonight.
And they called that against Pena, so her third, team's 10th against Cheyenne South, so double bonus for the East High Lady Thunderbirds.
Blaney 2 for 2 tonight, 4 for 4 tonight from the free throw line, and hits her first one. As she gets it to fall through that back iron, as we'll see some substitutions. Katie Castle, Cheyenne Alvarado, Willow Martin, and Abby Brady come in for East. I believe Emma Jacobson will come in as long as Blaney hits the second free throw.
As again, this game is well out of hand for Erica Wesley. Just again, getting your bench players some varsity time here.
And for Blaney, she'll go 6 for 6 at the line tonight. And again, finish with a double-double as well. So for Coach Wessling, I'm sure you like the fact that you got her in there just long enough to fulfill that double-double quota that Blaney's been able to get close to a few times the last couple of weeks. Pena with the basketball, stops in the paint, and now trying to kick it out to an open player. He gives it to Van Tassel on the right side. Down low, nice seal initially by Schindler. Schindler's shot is blocked. Van Tassel grabs the loose ball, puts it up with the right hand, rolls it in for 2.
Give credit to Cheyenne South, Lady Fightin Bison. They're putting up their best effort right now.
31-point lead for East as Alvarado gets it across the timeline for the Lady Thunderbirds. Alvarado goes to the right side. Castle with it. Gets the high screen and roll from Jacobson. Nice pick and roll as Jacobson gets the easy 2. Castle picks up the assist.
But again, right there, Cheyenne East showing them just how dominant they are as a squad here in Class 4A against Cheyenne South. Again, still putting up fight and determination here.
33-point lead with 1:45 left in the fourth quarter. Senior with the basketball, gets into the lane. Kick over to Schindler. Schindler drives with the left hand. Popped out of her hand by Castle, then recovered by Van Tassel. Van Tassel drives around Brady. Her shot's too strong, but a foul is called on Abby Brady, so that will send Van Tassel to the line to shoot 2.
So 16 foul called against Cheyenne East.
South 0 for 3 at the free throw line tonight.
And Brady will pick up her second.
Rainbow free throw rolls in from that right side of the hoop.
It was a rainbow shot, but she found gold on that other end.
Yes, she did. She got to the end of the rainbow. Second one is short, and the rebound will come out to Senia for South. Senia dribbles with the right hand. Martin picks her up. Stops on the right side. Now it's down low, and Brady will be called for an over the back. And Van Tassel will go to the line to shoot 1-1 now. So that's the 7th personal for Brady. It's her 3rd team.
Or at least reverse those numbers as it's Brady's 3rd, 17th foul as you said. Yeah, it doesn't matter at this point.
I know what I was thinking. I know it may not have come out that way.
Got a little crisscrossed on that one. It's all good.
The rainbow free throw by Van Tassel that time goes off the left iron and then off the back of off the top of the backboard, as we'll see Rania Tovar come in for South, and Van Tassel will come out. Van Tassel with a pretty solid night. She had 13 to go along with her 7 rebounds. Martin dribbling with the left hand, gets it stolen away by Tovar. Tovar stops in the paint, puts up the bank shot, rattles in and out. The rebound comes to Schindler. Kick out, Senior, 15-footer, nothing but net. So an extra opportunity for South gives them a bucket. As now Alvarado's trying to get rid of it. Luckily comes right to Jacobson. They need to get it across the timeline. Jacobson picks up her dribble. Alvarado gets it across just in time with 53 seconds left. It is 58-28, East with the lead. They've had a very comfortable lead since midway in that first quarter. A couple of 3 balls really set the tempo by Kai Buell tonight as Castle's first shot goes up and short. She grabs the second one, and she will be fouled on the way up.
It is a lead that Cheyenne East has had for, again, majority of this contest. The only time it was tied up was early in that first quarter at 2 apiece. And again, Cheyenne East has not looked back in the entirety.
Katie Castle will go to the line to shoot 2. Her first 2 free throw attempts on the season. Nothing but net.
And do want to mention
on the first one.
For Felicia Sina, she did pick up her 5th, so she will exit out of this contest.
Sina with 9 points tonight. As now we're starting to see the players put up on the scoreboard we were just talking about. It's here at Story. They have a place for the players. You can see the fouls and how many points they scored as Castle goes 2 for 2.
Well, they only got it for the east side, not for the south, so South not getting any love here.
They're slowly getting caught up. 11 of 17 from the free throw line is East tonight, as we'll have a couple more substitutes come in. A foul on the way up that looks like it was Jacoby Mirich that will go to the line to shoot 2. Jacoby Mirich, I would assume, is probably related in some way to Madison Mirich. As Jacoby Mirich misses her first one, and who knows if they're even related to the Miriches over on the, as far as the East principal goes. Second one off the back iron, and the rebound will come to Pena. She tries a reverse layup. It's off the mark, and then it's last touched by East. South will retain possession.
As Cheyenne East is going to pick up the victory here against Cheyenne South. East is going to move to 21-1 overall. For Cheyenne South, they're going to fall to 8-12.
61-28, 15 seconds left in this fourth quarter. Pena with the basketball, goes into the paint. Working on the ever-tall Abby Brady is McKenna Harlan. A 3-ball, or it's actually called a 2, hit by Rania Tovar. 61-30, and that's the horn. East dominant tonight after having a little bit of a hiccup in that game against Laramie in Laramie tonight here at Story Gymnasium. Take care of business with a 29-point victory, 61-30. We'll take a 2-minute timeout, have the stats for you when we come back. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back inside Historic Storage Gymnasium, 61-30. East with the lead or with the win tonight as they go to 21-1, 9-0 in Class 4A play. As far as East goes, they will extend their winning streak to 15 games, Nick, and once again we get a chance to see East, and they just seem to get better every single time we see them.
They certainly do, and again, here at this point in time, as again, a few weeks away from regional tournament and state tournament time, again, what better way to be hot or at least on fire and then right now we're here at the tail of the regular season. And again, Cheyenne East right now showing and proving they are the #1 team for a reason in Class 4A. Again, moving to 21-1 overall for Cheyenne South. Again, it's a young team, it's a developing team under Chad DeBryan, but it's a team that put up a good effort. Again, so far, again, only 30 points on at least for tonight, but again, you went up against one of the best teams, as you mentioned, Chris, again, in the entire state of Wyoming. So again, it wasn't going to be easy. You were going to be battle tested, and Cheyenne South has kind of at least got a lesson learned here, something to at least grow in the future under Chad DeBryan and the Lady Fightin Bison of Cheyenne South. So again, for Cheyenne South, with the loss here tonight, they're going to fall to 8-12 overall on the season.
And they'll be 3-7 now in Class 4A play. Of course, the way they do the conference records, it's a little bit different. They only count the quadrant play, I believe. But as far as 4A action goes, they're 3-7. Let's take a look at our final stats tonight for South. They did end up turning the ball over 23 times tonight to just 8 for East. That is not official, but it's close to official. I like to think I keep pretty close.
We'll say it's official.
And as far as free throws go, they were just 1 for 7 tonight. They were led by Riley Van Tassel, who ended with 13.7 rebounds, 9 points for Senia, 4 points for Callista Martinez. She also chipped in with 6 rebounds, 2 points apiece for Jaya Brown and Rainia Tovar. For East, they were led by Kai Buell. She had 19 points, 3 assists, 4 steals. Madison Blaney, double-double, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 10 points for Kaylee McEwen. She also chipped in with 6 rebounds. 4 points for Brooke Bailey, 2 for Katie Castle, Emma Jacobson, and Sydney Miller tonight. As Sydney Miller and Abby Erickson may not have had a great weekend scoring, but that just shows you the depth on this team, is they don't really need to have everybody show up and score because they have so many women that can score on their team.
They certainly do. And again, for Coach Eric Wesley for Cheyenne East, again, Lady T-Birds, this is going to be a force I would not doubt. Again, a lot of teams, at least across Class 4A, keeping a very good eye on the East Side Lady T-Birds, again, as we get close to playoff time here in a few short weeks. I want to take this opportunity to thank all of our fine sports sponsors. Again, without them, we would not be able to bring you at least high school basketball, high school football, and also to LCCC men's and women's basketball here on 1480 KRAE. We'd like to thank Baskin-Robbins, Cheyenne State Bank, Merritt Plumbing and Heating, Chick-fil-A, Sean Auto Repair and Service, First Education Federal Credit Union, Best Western Plus, Frontier Inn, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, Pine Valley Bank, B&B Appliance and TV, Marv's Plumbing and Heating, Big Apple Bagels, the Cheyenne Stampede. Again, Cheyenne Stampede in action here in about 30 minutes over there at the Ice and Event Center as they'll play host to the Northern Colorado Eagles. Also, to I-80 Towing and Service in Larry, Medicap Pharmacy, Pepsi of Cheyenne sponsoring our Pepsi scoreboard, where again it was Cheyenne East getting the victory here tonight over the Lady Fightin Bison of Cheyenne South by a final score of 61-30. Also, too, would like to thank Kia of Cheyenne, Lennox Auto Body, Breadbasket Bakery, Gill Window Company, Little Philly, Fat Boys Tire and Auto, Taco John's, First Tier Bank, Capital Lumber Company, Halliday Motors, McGee Hernan Pies LLP, United States Air Force, and Papa John's with 2 locations here in Cheyenne and also 2 in Laramie. We'll take a 3-minute timeout. Be back more with our post-game/pregame as we get set up for boys action coming up here shortly here at Story Gymnasium. A 3-minute timeout here on 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back inside Historic Storage Gymnasium. I am Chris Polton, joined alongside my tag team champ partner, Nick Proetti. And Nick, this one probably a little bit of a similar storyline from the standpoint that you have a South team that's struggling, a South team that when you look at it on paper probably have not a very good chance to win tonight, but nonetheless, they are a team that if they can get hot early, they can score in bunches, and that's the last thing East would want to see by South here in this start.
Well, and again, to kind of go on the flip side of that one for Cheyenne East, it's a team that can, at least on the offensive zone, again, they can have a quick start and basically have teams behind the 8 ball, so to speak, by, again, having them down by double digits early in these contests. So, again, interesting to see what happens. Again, East High on the boys' side, they come in as the number 2 team in Class 4A against Cheyenne South, a team that is in a little bit of growing pains under at least first-year head coach Jeff Bailey, again, former Cheyenne East head coach for many years. Again, coaching this boys squad, again, this at least a lot of players that he coached last year. So, again, right now, interesting to see for Cheyenne South to at least, here we are at least talking about this contest. South, they got to play perfect ball. They, again, in order to get the upset, they got to play perfect ball. It's plain and simple as that. And also, too, for at least for Cheyenne East, all they need to do for a victory is just play Cheyenne East basketball at this point.
Right. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. We'll have the starting lineup for you for South after this 1-minute timeout. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back inside Historic Storage Gymnasium. Let's take you through the starting lineup for head coach Jeff Bailey and his 3-16 South High Fightin Bison. They're going to go with senior number 4 Caleb Phillips, sophomore number 22 Michael Mascarenas, junior number 23 Cameron Bird, sophomore number 32 Cade Burns, and freshman number 40 Maury Alexander. For head coach Jeff Bailey, his team scores 47 points per game. That's last in 4A. They do give up 66 points per game to their opponents. That's second to last or that's the second most in 4A. They shoot 36% from the field, 24.5% from behind the arc, 59% from the free throw line. And as we were talking about just a minute ago, Nick, they're going to have to play perfect basketball tonight. As for East, they've only lost to they lost to 2 different 4A teams. They lost to Thunder Basin, but they were able to avenge that loss last week, and then to the unanimous number 1 in Sheridan. But other than that, they look like an unstoppable train for the most part this season. So we'll take a 2-minute timeout as we get set for the national anthem here at Historic Storage Gymnasium. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Coach Rusty Horsley and the East High Thunderbirds coming in at 18-2. Overall 7-1 in Class 4A play. They'll go with junior guard number 2 Xavier McCord, senior number 5 Tanner Muchmore, junior number 11 Demetrius McCord, junior number 21 Chance Aumiller, and the senior number 22 Eric Oliver. We had a chance to catch up with Coach Horsley earlier today during the JV game, and Nick, we were talking about has he ever seen a guy shoot over 200 shots and be able to hit 2/3 of them, and he's not in his memory can he think of a player like Eric Oliver, who shoots 67% from the field.
I was going to say, Rusty Horsley, who's been coaching a lot of basketball in his career, again, certainly does have a special player on his hand with one Eric Oliver, again, the quintessential leader for the East High T-Birds, and again, of what they've been doing on this season so far. For East High, they are 17-2 overall. Again, a team that is number 2 in Class 4A across the state of Wyoming. Again, as they will see the South High Fight Bison, a team that is, again, on a little bit of a downfall, at least looking to rebound. Again, as right now they are sitting at 3-16 overall on the season. So, again, for Cheyenne East, it's simple enough for them. Play East High basketball, and they'll come away with the victory. For Cheyenne South, you got to play perfect basketball. You cannot afford turnovers. You need to hit those point-blank shots. You need to cause turnovers from Cheyenne East as well, too, to up in, again, this behemoth as well, too, that we're about to see on the court with the East Thunderbirds.
East is number 1 in the state in scoring, 72 points per game. They give up 56.5 points. Number 1 in field goal percentage as well, 53%. They're tied for first in three-point percentage, 36%. They shoot 67% from the free throw line. For South, oh man, that lights went out in a hurry on me, and I can't see anything. I can't even tell you where my phone is.
I think you got a light switch here.
There we go. We got lights in here.
Here in the press box.
For South, they shoot 36% from the field, 24.5 from 3, 59% from the free throw line. This East team, when they get out in transition, that's where they get you. So South is going to have to take care of the basketball. They're going to have to make East play in the half-court set. It's still going to be tough to stop them, but your best chance is to get them in the half-court set and slow the game down, kind of like how Sheridan did against them just a couple of weeks ago. Of course, that game was in Sheridan, so a lot of things going up against East as far as that goes.
Well, and also, too, for Cheyenne South, in order to at least pull off the upset here in Story Gym, again, on the neutral floor that is this court, again, you do have the leader of the team, or at least so to speak, again, of one head coach, Jeff Bailey. Again, Jeff Bailey, who was the former East High coach last season, who knows these starters, who knows these players, he knows their tendencies. So, again, knows how to guard against, know what they're going to show on the offensive zone. So it's something that Jeff Bailey could alter his team, or know, hey, Eric Oliver is going to do this, Kate Phillips or whoever, move to this route to prevent him from getting in. So, again, interested to see what happens here tonight. Again, is it something that South could slow down this East team? It's happened before, but will it happen here tonight?
Last time these teams met was January 18th. East beat South 88-46. For East, they've won 12 of the last 14 games, and for East, this should be more of a tune-up for Central next weekend. So again, you don't want to overlook them, but you never know when it comes to the fact that it is a crosstown rivalry. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. We'll have the tip-off for you after this 1-minute timeout. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Well, the hype-up video is over. The starting lineups have been announced. South will be out in their road black jerseys with black numbers and gold on the outline. Luckily, we're not as high up as we were when we watched them go up against Greeley West. For East, they'll be in their home whites with the baby blue numbers and the black on the outline. For East, they'll go right to left on your computer screen and your radio dial.
It might be a neutral court, but at least, again, East is at least the home team here tonight. And again, it does have that home feel, especially with those introduction lineups for Cheyenne East. Get a good crowd on hand here at Story Gym to watch this contest.
The tip-off between McCord and Burns will be won by East. It's Miller goes to Muchmore, now it's in the corner. Oliver goes to Miller on the right block, and he rolls it in for 2. So East takes 5 seconds to get on the scoreboard. And then a turnover on the inbound pass goes right to Oliver. He gets a steal and 2.
A very careless pass right there by Cheyenne South.
Bird gets it across the timeline. It's 1-on-2. He's going right after Miller. Some contact, no call. Oliver grabs the loose ball. Oliver across the timeline. Already a rebound, an assist, and a steal. Make that 2 assists as he hands it off to Miller. So it's quickly 6-0, and we're only 40 seconds into the game.
Yeah, 6-0 run to start out the gates for Cheyenne East.
Bird across the timeline, lods it up. Nice batter down by Miller, but it comes right back to Bird. A very fortunate balance there for South as they get the first 2 points on the board. Cameron Bird with them. Much more on the left wing. Dribbles to the left corner. Holding on to it still as South will start in a zone. Oliver on the left corner puts up the 3 ball. It's off the right iron, and Burns grabs the rebound, the first empty possession for East tonight. So for East and Eric Oliver, he shoots 50% from 3 on the season, so he'll probably hit his next one. Burns with the basketball, stops at the free throw line, puts up the shot, it's short, and Xavier McCord grabs his first rebound tonight. Demetrius to Muchmore on the left wing, inside. Miller has it on the left elbow. Goes up to McCord, now it's Oliver inside the perimeter. Miller, short corner on the right side. His shot's too strong, and the rebound comes to Demetrius. Demetrius, straightaway 3, banks hard off the back iron. Mascarenas for South grabs the rebound.
So a hot start for Cheyenne East, now a little bit cold on the offensive side.
And here comes Bird across the timeline. Him and Phillips will run the point. Alexander first touch on the right block. He puts up the shot. He's fouled on the way up. McCord didn't go up with both hands, that being Xavier McCord, and that is what the foul will be called.
So Xavier will pick up his first foul, team's first against Cheyenne East.
So Alexander, 62% on the season from the free throw line. Puts up the first one, hits off the left iron, and falls down to the floor. We saw Alexander for the very first time against Riverton. We saw him have some very big minutes, and he just continues to play for more minutes under Coach Bailey, and he's just a freshman. Averaging 3 points, 3 rebounds a game. Alexander goes 1 for 2 at the line, leads 6-3. Started out 6-0 for East very quickly, but they haven't scored their last 3 possessions. Oliver has it, short corner. Xavier McCord puts it up with the 2-hand slam.
And it gets that student crowd section again on their feet.
8-3 now the score. As Muchmore just takes it away, but then Burns comes up with the loose ball. Muchmore pretty much grabbed it out of the hands of Mascarenas. Bird, step back 3 from the left corner over the outstretched arms of Miller. It's short, and Xavier McCord grabs the rebound. Miller has it on the left elbow. Xavier at the top. Xavier slows it down. Now bounce pass to Oliver. Down low, Demetrius has it. Pops it out to Muchmore with a lot of contact down low. Miller goes down low to Demetrius. Alexander with a lot of contact again, and that time it's called his first, team first. 8-3 our score on the Pepsi scoreboard with about 2 minutes and 50 seconds into this first quarter. Left corner, right corner to Oliver up top. Now to Demetrius. Looking down low, gives it to Oliver. High percentage shot for Eric Oliver, falls through the twine. He's got 4, and the lead is up to 7. Burns across the timeline. They have numbers. Taking the charge is Chance Miller. Cade Burns played some quarterback for South And that would have been a good truck stick, but in basketball, it doesn't work out that way.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't do that in basketball, so Cade will pick up his first foul, team second against the Fightin Bison.
Demetrius will walk it across the timeline, then give a 2-bounce pass to Muchmore on the opposite side. Allmiller has it right in front of the student section, or the stands on the far side from us. Muchmore has it on the left wing. McCord, Xavier with the basketball. Backing down, Alexander goes with the turnaround jumper, hits off the back iron. Burns grabs the nice rebound, gives it to Mascarenas, who tries a baseball pass, ran down by Eric Oliver. Oliver across the timeline to Muchmore, left corner three, hits off the front iron. Muchmore grabs his own rebound. Oliver into the lane, poked away initially by Bird, and then is thrown away to Bird. Bird trying to go coast to coast, puts up the shot with the right hand and rolls it in for 2. So Bird picks up his first steal. That's the first turnover for South tonight. For Allmiller, has it on the left wing, dribbles with the right hand, gets into the paint, kick out to Xavier. Xavier up top to Oliver as they're switching everything. Is South as Demetrius, nice first step, gets into the lane. He's fouled on the way up. He'll go to the line and earn 2, as we'll have 4 substitutions coming in for East after the first free throw shot.
A wholesale substitution for Coach Rusty Horsley here out of the get-go.
I'm going to guess that it's everybody but Eric Oliver that comes out.
Possibly. Again, Mascarenas picks up his first foul. Team's third against Cheyenne South.
McCord hits the first of 2.
Let's see if your prediction is correct.
Looks like I am. Rail, Jackson, and Buell come in. Muchmore, Xavier, and Allmiller come out. Colgan on the scorer's table waiting for Demetrius' second free throw attempt. He makes both, and he knew it because once he put it up, he turned around and started walking to the bench before it went through. 12-5 the score, 3:48 left in this first quarter as Colgan comes in for Demetrius. So only starter on the floor for East is Eric Oliver. Bird across the timeline with Oliver in his back pocket. Bird dribbles through the legs a few times, goes to Burns on the right side. Burns over to Mascarenas on the right wing, posting up down low is Phillips on the smaller Jake Rail. Alexander trying to get it down low to him. Mascarenas will do so on the right block. Turnaround jumper for Phillips, hits off the back iron. Jackson grabs his first rebound tonight. Oliver goes over to Rail on the right corner for 3. It's short, and the rebound comes to Mascarenas for South.
So it's kind of a feeling out process between these two teams.
Well, for East, they jumped out to a 6-0 lead in the first 45 seconds and have slowed down since. As Bird with a strong take, he's got 6 as he banks it in. 12-7 the score in favor of East. So South with a good start here after that 6-0 run by East. They've countered it with a 7-6 spurt. Jackson with the basketball, comes over to Oliver. It's Graydon Buell with his first touch on offense, goes to Colgan on the left wing. Colgan with the basketball, still holding on to it, we'll give it to Oliver. 4 out, 1 in, motion offense for East. Jackson will grab it. He has the smaller Mascarenas on him. He goes to work, banks it in for 2 over Mascarenas. That's going to be there for Jackson tonight.
Yeah, as you say, Jackson, the big body that he is, again, just forcing his way on the inside there.
Mascarenas gets across the timeline, 14-7 East with the lead. Mascarenas dribble handoff to Burns on the right side, bounce pass down low. Jackson went for the steal, great help defense by Oliver, he steals it, or he blocks it away from Alexander. Buell into the lane, puts up the shot and 1! Graydon Buell with the great finish over Cade Burns, and for Burns, he picks up his second team 4th.
As they will now put the points on the board. They get a chance and 1 right now for Graydon Buell.
Eric Oliver, 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal and a block. And we still have 2:02 left in this first quarter.
Again, this is a Cheyenne team of what we kind of similar saw earlier in the girls contest. Again, when that offense is hot, they can score in bunches and very quickly.
Buell's and 1 opportunities off the mark. Colgan grabs the loose ball. Buell will throw up for 3 on the right side. It goes off the iron, and Hunter Scott, who checks in the game, grabs his first rebound. Leandre Ray also in for South. Muchmore checks in for Eric Oliver for East. Bird gets into the lane, nice crossover, double pump, it goes off the front of the iron, and Alexander grabs the rebound, but an over to the back call called on Aiden Colgan. the second team foul for Colgan, his first.
And for Colgan, at least player for Rusty Horsley, again, few contests that we've seen with him, again, does get into foul difficulty very early.
The McCords come in, as well as Miller, Colgan, Rail, and Jackson take a seat for East. Phillips from the left corner. It's short. Xavier jumps way up and grabs the rebound. In the right wing, it's Muchmore. He gets in the lane, puts up the right hand floater, falls through the twine. Muchmore grabs his first 2 points tonight.
And now a double-digit lead for Cheyenne East.
Bird will walk it across the timeline with Muchmore up top. Now into the lane, left hand around Muchmore. Cameron Bird being aggressive has 8 of the 9 points. 18-9, East with the lead. Across the timeline comes Miller with it on the left wing.
The Cheyenne East is taking their time right now.
Trying to slow it down and maybe slow the tempo just a little bit. You don't see them do that too often, but with under a minute, maybe giving a fewer possessions to South. Demetrius almost turns the ball over. He does. Hunter Scott picked his pocket from behind. Goes over to Cameron Bird. Bird coast to coast. He's fouled by Graydon Buell. Shot doesn't go in, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
As that'll be the third team foul call against Cheyenne East. And Buell will pick up his first.
And for Graydon Buell, probably a good foul, as it looked like it was going to be an easy 2 for Bird.
So basically you make Bird earn the 2.
That's right. The third turnover for South on that one, as Bird hits his first free throw, 63% on the season.
Give credit to Cheyenne South to Fight Bison so far here in this first quarter, as it seems like East is going to take full advantage and get things out of hand for Cheyenne South. They've been fighting back. Yeah,
South has really righted the ship after that quick 6-0 run, as Bird hits both. Bird has 10 points in this first quarter, and a 30-second timeout is called. We'll take a 30-second timeout here as well. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. (18-11) the score in favor of East with 39 seconds left. Coach Jeff Bailey calling a full timeout. Cameron Bird, as we were talking at the break, Nick, has 10 of the 11 points, having a very strong start for South High.
Yeah, again, give credit to Cameron Bird, just kind of putting this team on his back.
Bird on the bench right now with Phillips checking back in. McCord with the basketball goes to his brother Demetrius. Demetrius, spin move into the lane, fakes one way, puts it up, it's short, grabs his own rebound, puts it up again, too strong. This time Scott grabs the rebound for South, his second rebound for Hunter Scott. Across the timeline comes Phillips for South. Puts up the 3 ball, does Mascarenas. It rattles in and out, and Oliver will grab the loose ball. Oliver hustling it down the floor with the left-hand dribble. 2 seconds left, puts up the 3 at the horn. It may have been partially blocked by Phillips, but that will be the whistle or the horn to end the first quarter. Well, it looked ugly in the first 45 seconds, but South rights the ship, down 7 as we'll go to a break. A 1-minute timeout as you're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Well, Nick, if you take away that 6-0 run that East started with, we have a 1-point game, so you got to like how South was able to bounce back after that first minute.
Well, again, getting back into this contest, again, not giving up or at least not getting frustrated with that slow start out of the gates. And, again, give credit to also, too, one Cameron Bird of what he's been doing for the Fighting Bison so far.
He's back into the game with Phillips, Ray, Scott, and Mascarenas for South. For East, they have their starting 5 out on the floor, much more Oliver, McCord twins, and Miller. Bird has the basketball, 10 first quarter points for him. Phillips on the left side, looking down low. Instead, we'll go to Mascarenas in the corner. Jab step with the right hand, now dribbling. Handoff is stolen away by Miller, who throws it off Mascarenas to keep it in East possession. Talked about the athleticism of Chance Miller, and we're seeing it here early. Much more will dribble with the left hand, comes into the front court for East. 18-11 is the score that start this quarter. And South has an empty possession to start. Oliver in the left corner. Miller from 10. Nothing but net for Chance Miller. He's got 6. And for Oliver, he picks up his 3rd assist. Cherry picking on the other side is Hunter Scott, who gets the lob pass from Phillips. And Hunter Scott gets his first 2 points tonight. That's one way to get quick scores.
Especially if Cheyenne East on the defense is going to, again, fall asleep and allow him to be on the back end.
Oliver straightaway 3. Cash money for Eric Oliver. You got to get up in his face in a hurry. If you don't, he's going to make you pay.
Actually, they're going to call that only a 2.
He was way behind the perimeter line on that one, so we'll see if the score changes. Ray with a miss on the pass, the baseball pass from Demetrius to Xavier, and much more. Misses the first shot. Miller grabs the rebound and lays it in for 2.
And they will call it a 3 as they got it finally updated here.
Demetrius steals the inbound pass and lays it in for 2.
And now it's starting to get out of hand here in the second quarter.
We saw this in that first burst for East to start the quarter. Again, they come out and do it again. Bird on the left corner, fakes the shot in the lane, puts up the right-hand floater, hits off the front iron, and Xavier grabs the rebound. Outlet pass quickly out to Miller. Miller fakes the handoff one way, and now give it to much more in the left corner. 3 ball, short. Oliver comes up with a rebound, and the easy lay-in for 2.
Yeah, this East High offense is so potent, so fast. Again, scoring in bunches. Right now doing it here against Cheyenne South.
McCord tips the pass from Mascarenas to Phillips. And one thing, Nick, too, is when they don't score, they're getting a second opportunity. One thing South isn't doing is they'll get the initial stop, but then won't end the possession.
Well, again, for South, they are certainly outsized against Cheyenne East. Cheyenne East, a lot of big bodies out there that can box out and get those offensive and defensive rebounds.
Alexander and Burns comes in for South. Bird into the lane. Nice drive and dish to Burns, who lays it in with the right hand. For Cade Burns, he picks up his first 2 points tonight. 29-15, 14-point lead. Xavier has it, goes back to much more. Tries to go inside. Alexander will come up with the steal. It is the 5th turnover for East tonight. Phillips dribbles with the left hand, gets the high screen from Burns, puts up the jumper over Oliver and cashes it in. He's got his first 2. Lead's cut to 14 now. It's cut to 12. Oliver in the lane. Nice Euro step left hand lay-in by Eric Oliver.
Just kind of part of the C there against Cheyenne South and just easily got inside.
Phillips with the basketball, dribbles with the left hand. Demetrius playing defense up top. High screen from Alexander. Now Burns as they reverse court. It's Cameron Bird with it. Working on Eric Oliver. Gets into the lane. Hand contact, no call. Xavier comes up with this loose ball. Tries to dive to the floor to save it as he goes to the scorer's table as Graydon Buell and Jake Rail will come in. And coming out will be much more on Miller. Good sportsmanship shown there by Caleb Phillips, helping Xavier up off the floor. 31-17 our score with 4:45 left on the Pepsi scoreboard here in the second quarter. Across the timeline comes Bird. He's on the right elbow. Step back 3 from the right wing. He's fouled. Hey, we kept the streak alive.
The streak keeps on going as we see another 3-point shot foul committed. And again, that will be against Jake Rail, so he'll pick up his first, team's 4th against Cheyenne East.
So I got to tell you, Nick, while you were gone, it took until about 2 minutes left in the 4th quarter against Campbell County as Cameron Bird hits the first one. for a three-point shooter for Campbell County to be fouled.
Again,
so to keep the streak alive, every single game we've had.
It's not Class 4A high school basketball if we don't have a three-point shot
right,
foul.
Exactly. Exactly. Bird misses the second one. Score still 31-18 in favor of South.
And a South team that is trying to fight back after that monstrous run there by Cheyenne a few minutes ago.
Birds goes 1 for 3, so not able to take advantage of being fouled at the three-point line. Buell will have the ball as Xavier grabs his 5th rebound tonight. Xavier has it on the right side, gets into the lane, tries the reverse lane, he's fouled on the way up. Or not the reverse lane, he tried the reverse dunk. Trying to get some energy back into this gymnasium.
Trying to show a little flair out there. Foul will be called against Kay Burns, his 3rd, team's 5th against South. So that is a big player that might have to sit for Coach Jeff Bailey.
And Burns led the way against South, or for South against East. Last time had 17 points in that one as Xavier hits the first of 2. As Hunter Scott will come in for him. East starting out 3 for 4 from the free throw line. For South, they're 3 of 7. Here comes the 5th free throw attempt. The second one by Xavier. He'll go 2 for 2 as that goes nothing but net.
As we'll see Onyx Jackson come back in for Coach Rusty Horsley.
Jackson will come in for Xavier. So Demetrius, the only McCord on the floor, as Bird gets around Demetrius and almost had it stolen away by the help from Rail, but nice behind the back dribbling. Now he's into the lane, puts up the shot, he's fouled on the way up. He was out of control, but Demetrius bailed him out on the touch foul.
And Demetrius will pick up that foul. 5th team foul called against Cheyenne East.
His first. And Bird will go back to the line. He's already been there, made 5 attempts from the line.
And Cameron Bird, who has just been a workhorse so far for Coach Jeff Bailey in the South High Fightin Bison.
He has 11 of the 18. He had 10 of the 11 in that first quarter as Bird misses the first of 2.
And this is for Cheyenne South. Again, something that they need. They need to make these free throws to get back into this contest.
Yeah, anytime you can score without the timeout, without the time going, as he goes 0 for 2 and Buell grabs the rebound, it will benefit you, especially when you're down 15. Buell has the basketball, stops at the left wing, will reset his offense. That one's almost taken away by Bird on the skip pass to the left wing, to the right wing to McCord. Buell gets it back, passes it to the right block to Jackson, puts up the bank shot, too strong. Scott grabs the rebound, his 3rd one tonight for South, and hands it off to his point guard, Caleb Phillips. Phillips between the legs dribble, step back from the left elbow, rattles in and out. Jackson grabs the rebound for East. Headman pass to Rail, puts up the left hand, lay-in, and he's fouled hard by Caleb Phillips. The shot falls away off the front iron, so Rail will go to the line to shoot 2.
As Caleb Phillips will pick up his first foul, team 6 against South.
Rail 79% on the season, 11 of 14.
As we're going to have a timeout called by Jeff Bailey.
It's a full 30-second timeout, so we'll take a 30-second timeout as well. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. (33-18) the score in favor of East, and he's starting to build some distance now here, Nick, in the second quarter.
They certainly are, as Cheyenne South, at least on the offensive side. Again, they're getting opportunities, they're getting looks, a lot of one-and-done chances, and also, too, not cashing in on the free throws, especially as you mentioned with at least Cameron Bird having those opportunities, especially where he had 3 and only got 1 out of the 3.
Rail's first free throw attempt falls to the right side off the front iron. So a miss by the sophomore. As for Coach Horsley, rolling with the 9-man rotation here to start, as the second one by Rail goes off the left iron, and Phillips grabs the rebound for South. Phillips behind the back dribble, gets around Rail and into the front court, picks up his dribble, will now go to Mascarenas, who checks in for Cameron Bird. Mascarenas being hounded on defense by Buell, dribbles it off his foot. Scott recovers, puts up the 10-footer, nothing but net for Hunter Scott. He's got 4. lead down to 13.
Good.
First field goal hit in a while for South.
Good effort by Elise Hunter there. Again, disaster averted.
Jackson faces up, hits the cutting Oliver. Over the shot block attempt of Hunter. Scott lays it in for 2.
So we're going to have a timeout called by Rusty Horsley.
A 30-second timeout, and we'll take one as well. 30-second timeout. Actually, we'll keep it right here. As that bucket for Eric Oliver just broke the scoring record for East High School, which is why Rusty Horsley called the 30-second timeout. So a classy move by head coach Rusty Horsley to allow Eric Oliver to get a round of applause from the student section. Well, he's been one of the best scorers in the state for 3 years, he's been a 4-year starter as well.
And again, that tells you the quality of player that Eric Oliver is for Cheyenne East, again, where they've had some notable names come through Cheyenne East. Again, during my time, again, a person that I know personally, again, who plays now in the NBA, is one James Johnson, who was a phenomenal athlete and, again, a phenomenal point scorer. So that is, again, deserving honor, and again, at least got the pleasure to see that here tonight at Story Gym of Eric Oliver breaking that record.
Yeah, history made at the historic Story Gymnasium as he does what baseball players call a curtain call. I don't know what they would call it in basketball, but stands up one more time as the crowd gives him a cheer. 15-point lead for East, 35-20 with 2:50 left here in this second quarter. Scott has it on the right wing, dribbles between the legs and loses the handle. Hand off to number 31, Christian McDonald, as they'll reverse court. I believe that is Christian McDonald as Ray puts up a right-hand floater from the free throw line. The rebound will come down to Jackson. That's going to be Kevin Bell, who is checked in for South High School. Buell has the basketball, gets in the lane. Nice no-look dish to Jackson, but he can't finish, and the rebound will come to Demetrius. Demetrius' ball's blocked by Phillips, and McCord grabs the loose ball. McCord dribbles between the legs, and then will hand it off to Muchmore. Buell high at the top, will dribble and then fake the handoff. Down low pass to Jackson on the right block. One dribble, puts up the shot. It's blocked by Phillips again. Good job there by Scott to save it. Here comes South in transition. Bell with the basketball, puts up the left-hand shot, too strong. No foul called as he was looking for one. It was Muchmore that grabs the loose ball. His third rebound, McCord from the right wing, puts up the three in the face of Ray and then gives him a nice smile and wink. Does Xavier McCord. Phillips bumps into Demetrius, now spins around, gets into the front court. Bell with the basketball, dribbles with the left hand, will go to Maury Alexander. Kevin Bell, a junior for South, gets into the lane, puts up the left-hand shot, banks it up and in for 2. Nice shot there by Kevin Bell.
Ends a bit of a cold spell for Cheyenne South on the offensive side.
16-point lead now for East as Buell goes lob pass up high, too high for Xavier. Bell grabs the steal. It's the 6th turnover for East.
Again, trying to do a little showboating there a bit, but again, it burns Cheyenne East.
Scott with the bank shot. Goes pure through the nylon. 14-point lead as we're with 53 seconds left on the Pepsi scoreboard. Demetrius with the basketball, goes to Muchmore on the left side, right in front of the South bench. Now he dribbles it to the top, working on Alexander. Too much contact by Maury Alexander. He'll pick up his second, team 7th. That's send Muchmore to the line to shoot 1-1.
So Cheyenne East in the bonus for the remainder 44 seconds here in this first half.
And Jackson will come out for Chance Aumiller. Chance Aumiller with 8 points in this first quarter and a couple of steals. 44.8 seconds left in the second quarter. 14-point lead for East. It's been as much as 16 tonight. Muchmore's first. Rattles in and out. Demetrius is there for the lay-in as he beat everybody off the block. And it's a quick 2. 16-point lead. It's back 2. Ray between the legs dribble. He's double teamed, then hands it off to Mascarenas. He'll put up the 15-footer, hits off the right iron, and Graydon Buell grabs the rebound. On the other side, cherry picking is Xavier, and he's fouled by Mascarenas as he went up for the dunk. And I like that foul if I'm Mascarenas. Don't let him get the East school student section up and an easy dunk. So for Xavier, he'll go back to the line where he's 2 for 2.
And again, that at least foul call against Mascarenas, his second foul. And it looks like we had a technical as well.
Or I think they're calling it a flagrant.
Flagrant foul.
So it will be 2 shots and the ball. So that foul actually didn't turn out to work as well as Mascarenas wanted, although Xavier misses the first of 2.
8th team foul called against Cheyenne South there. And again, heard the at least South High faithful and not too happy about that decision by the refs.
For Mascarenas, he picks up 2 fouls now, and McCord rolls in the second one. South just 5 of 10 from the free throw line. Xavier now has 8 points. Guess I can look up on the board now that they got that working.
They finally got it working for the boys contest.
17-point lead, largest of the night for East as Xavier comes out and Eric Oliver comes back in. Graydon Buell will inbound it for East as they'll still have the possession with the flagrant foul. Allmiller on the left block, banks it in. Nice pass by Graydon Buell on the inbound. Chance Allmiller has 10. For Buell, he picks up his first assist tonight. Lead up to 19, largest of the night. Ray spins around Allmiller, Euro step, right-hand floater, short, much more grabs the rebound and almost taken away. He's got 3 players on him and a foul is finally called. And I believe it will be on Leandre Ray.
It'll be 8th team foul called against Cheyenne South. Actually, excuse me, team 9th.
And for Ray, it is his first.
Yeah.
Much more 0 for 1 at the line. He's got 2 points tonight. Trying to get the lead up to 20 with 7.6 seconds left here in the second quarter. Too strong. Demetrius again grabs the offensive rebound, throws it over to Muchmore. 3 seconds left. Allmiller puts up the 3. It's too strong. The rebound comes to Bird, who throws it up, but it's going to be well short and after the horn anyway. East will have a 19-point lead going into the break, 43-24. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. We'll see if we can catch up with Coach Eric Wessling and talk about the victory tonight for his Lady Thunderbirds. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back inside Historic Story Gymnasium as we have an extended halftime. Again, we'll try to catch up with Coach Eric Wessling and talk about the Lady T-Birds and their 15th straight victory. But Nick, as far as this one goes, it was close in that first quarter. Cameron Bird did everything he could to keep it close, but free throws really hurt South in that second quarter.
They certainly did. And again, something that you mentioned and pointed out during at least that first half is, again, South would only have been down by 1 if they didn't allow that 6-point run to start out the first quarter. So it's a situation for Cheyenne South. Again, good credit, at least a credit to them of at least being fighters here on the court against this very potent, very talented Cheyenne East team. Again, Cheyenne East, they're just playing Cheyenne East basketball right now. Again, that offense that can just at least score in bunches, be quick and fast paced. And we're seeing it on hand here, at least at Story Gym. As I do see Eric Wessling, it looks like he'll be heading our way here in a few short minutes, again, as we're high atop here at Story Gym here.
Takes a while to get up here.
Yeah, he's got to greet a few fans as well to congratulate him on the victory tonight.
Well, and another thing in that first half, we saw Eric Oliver become the all-time leading scorer in East history, which is a rich history, as you know. Of course, anytime you have somebody make it from your high school, especially in the state of Wyoming, playing in the NBA, it's always a huge feat. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. We'll have Coach Wessling for you. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Back inside historic Story Gymnasium at half East with the 43-24 lead over South. Let's take you quickly back to the ladies game as we're now joined alongside head coach Eric Wessling. Coach, 61-30, a lot different matchup as far or the way the game went than the last time you played South. You guys did a really good job taking care of the basketball. By my count, only 8 turnovers, something you got to be really excited about.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I thought they're doing a lot better job of ball security, and even last night we did a lot better job down the stretch of taking care of the ball at times when we might have coughed it up early. But yeah, I was really happy with that.
We talked about in the pregame stopping Callista Martinez and Riley Van Tassel. Van Tassel still had 13 points, but they weren't easy. Kaylee McEwen did a great job playing defense on her, and then the length of Abby Brady. How nice is it having those two really just kind of making sure you don't ever have them both on the floor at the same time, but when they come in for each other, nobody gets a break down low.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of our formula is just wear them out. And with those two kids being anchors in the paint there, we're able to do that. And our guards can take some chances, but knowing that they have the help in the middle.
And then as far as the defense on Martinez, you had a few different guards shadow her tonight, but only 4 points for her. Again, another positive as far as the defensive goes on a key player.
Yeah, just a team effort. After last game, we talked a lot about how we had little to no help in the paint, and we needed to take care of that. And I thought our kids did a really good job of adjusting to that and made it their goal tonight to protect the paint, and that was encouraging to see them do.
A double-double tonight for Madison Blaney, but probably the most impressive thing is the fact that she looks like she's starting to just grab the basketball and go. She's one of the fastest players really on your team, especially with the strides that she has. Is that something you guys have been working on a lot with her, just saying, hey, just if you can't find a guard right away, just go?
Yeah, well, it's mental mindset. I mean, the more comfortable she gets on the floor, which sounds funny, this is her second year of varsity, but she's a kid that's very conscientious of her team, but I think she's getting comfortable with the idea that when she's in attack mode, it's good for us.
Again, another strong night on the offensive side, too, for Kaylee McEwen. Every time it seems like she gets the ball down low, she's getting a little bit more confident to finish with the contact.
Yeah. If we can have her peaking at the right time, which looks like it's pretty encouraging, all signs are pointing that way, that's going to be huge for us for those points.
And then Kai tonight, I think this has to be the best efficient night for her. She didn't have to put up a whole lot of shots to get her 19 points. You got to love seeing that, especially with how much she handles the basketball.
Yeah, her efficiency, is something that we talk about, and she's very aware of it too, but she's just a very conscientious kid in terms of looking at how she's playing, and efficiency's been her goal, and it's been really encouraging to see her not only tonight, but last night she was pretty dang efficient as well. So when she doesn't think about it and just plays, she's phenomenal.
And then as far as the depth goes, Sydney Miller and Abby Erickson didn't have great weekends when it comes to scoring, but your team is so deep, you don't need players like Sydney Miller and Abby Erickson to always come out and have good night scoring.
We don't need their scoring, but we need them.
Yeah.
We need their presence. Those are two seniors that have put in all the work and are so valuable to us. They steady us. They've been through all the wars, and so those kind of veteran kids you can't replace in these types of seasons. So even when they're not scoring, their presence alone makes us who we are.
Well, Coach, you still just one more game left in the regular season against Central next week. Central struggling a little bit. I believe they had a 2-point victory over Laramie at their home court. But, anytime it's East Central, throw records out, throw stats out, because it's just a good old-fashioned rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you sleep on any team in 4A. Honestly, and last night is a lesson, and it's not that we take any teams lightly, but there's some dark horses in the state that I think come tournament time are going to either show out or not, but we're ready. We prepare the same way for any team because you never know.
All right, that is head coach Eric Wessling. Thank you for your time. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks.
We'll take a 3-minute timeout. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back inside Historic Storage Gymnasium. East with the 43-24 halftime lead. Let's take you first through the stats in our first half, and then we'll throw it over to Nick with the scoreboard from across the 4A games as far as the ladies go. 11 points for Cameron Bird to lead away for South. 6 points for Hunter Scott. 2 points for Caleb Phillips, Kevin Bell, and Cade Burns. 1 point for Mari Alexander. For East, they had led by Eric Oliver with his 13 points. His last bucket was a record-breaking bucket as he becomes the leading scorer in East High School history. 10 points for Chance Allmiller, 8 for Xavier McCord, 6 for Demetrius, 2 points apiece for Jackson, Buell, and Tanner Muchmore, as Nick has some scores from around Class 4A on the ladies' side.
Well, let's take a look from Class 4A across the way over at the field house. Central High Lady Indians, the number 4 ranked Central High Lady Indians, defeat Laramie Lady Plainsmen by a final score, get this, 48-46, and coming away with a 2-point victory. So something at least Coach Kirkbride at least happy that they got away with the victory, but probably not too happy of how close it was against the Laramie Lady Plainsmen. Number 5, Kelly Walsh, they are taking on, or at least they took on Cody. They defeated Cody 32-18. Campbell County in a battle between these two schools. Campbell County taking on Sheridan. It was the Lady Camels defeating the Lady Bronx 66-23. And last but not least, Rock Springs taking on, at least they were taking on Riverton. They defeated Riverton 32-28. So that was the scoreboard from across Class 4A. Do want to take this opportunity as well, too, while we have the chance, to thank all of our fine sports sponsors once again. And without them, we would not be able to bring you high school basketball, high school football, and LCCC men's and women's basketball here on 1480 KRAE. I want to thank Baskin-Robbins, Cheyenne State Bank, Merritt Plumbing and Heating, Chick-fil-A, Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, First Education Federal Credit Union, Best Western Plus, Frontier Inn, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, Platte Valley Bank, B&B Appliance and TV, Mars Plumbing and Heating, Big Apple Bagels, the Cheyenne Stampede, who are currently in action right now at the Ice and Event Center, taking on the Northern Colorado Eagles. The I-80 Towing and Service in Laramie, Medicap Pharmacy, Pepsi of Cheyenne. Again, Pepsi of Cheyenne sponsoring our Pepsi scoreboard. We're again at half right now. It is East High Thunderbirds leading Cheyenne South 43-24. Also, too, would like to thank Kia Cheyenne, Lennox Auto Body, the Bread Basket Bakery, Gil Weno Company, Little Philly, Fat Boys Tire and Auto, Taco John's, First Tier Bank, Capital Lumber Company, Holiday Motors, McGee Hernan Pies LLP, United States Air Force, and Papa John's, who have 2 locations here in Cheyenne and also 2 in Laramie. What we're going to do is take a 3-minute timeout, and be back with more of our halftime show, and also to get started for the second half here of this boys contest between East and South. 3-minute timeout here on 1480 KRAE.
43-24, East with the lead over South. As far as the halftime goes, it's just about to get completed as we had the extended halftime with, I think there was some dancing, some junior ROTC stuff going on.
A little joint, at least, productions by both, again, South and East here at Story Gym, again, in front of a capacity crowd here. Again, a lot of, at least Cheyenne did show up for this rivalry game. Again, not a whole lot of seats available out there.
No, not a whole lot of seats. I'll say probably a little bit more when we had the East Central, because it looked like not only was there no room, but people were like having kids sit on their laps and all that other stuff. But still, nonetheless, Story Gym, a great venue, and a venue that you will.
It's a venue we're going to get very familiar with, again, as we'll have one more regular season game, East Central next Friday, and then regional tournament time where Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Again, 3 days of regional action here at Story Gym.
Both teams will start with their starting five. McCord twins, much more. Oliver and Miller, as East will start with the basketball. Dribble handoff, much more at the top. Nobody picks him up, puts up the right-hand floater. It's short. The rebound will come to Burns. Burns, Phillips, Mari Alexander, and Mascarenas, who gets the headman pass from Phillips and lays it in with the right hand. A good start for South here in this third quarter as they're down 17 now. Oliver with the basketball, underhand pass to Xavier, who went over to his brother on the left wing, but it was batted out of play. South had it as close as 7 to end the quarter, but they were outscored 25-13 in the second. And it was really free throws that hurt them in that second quarter.
For South.
Oliver, down low, much more. Right hand, big shot up and in for 2.
For South, it's a team that just needs to be patient and, again, clean up things and clean up those turnovers. And again, just slowly kind of crawl back into this contest.
4th assist for Eric Oliver as Burns dribbles with the right hand on the paint for South, puts up the right hand floater over. Miller lays it in for 2. Burns just his 4th point. He had 3 fouls in that first half that hindered his playing time. Oliver with the right hand for East, goes between the legs at the top. Now we'll go right wing. Now it's all the way in the corner to Miller. Down low, turnaround jumper for Oliver. Nothing but net. So pure, especially inside the paint.
Well, this is something you don't want if you're Cheyenne South. Again, where now both teams are answering bucket for bucket.
Right. East is okay going bucket for bucket. South needs stops. Phillips has it on the left wing. He picked up his dribble. And Burns, it goes off his foot. Demetrius grabs the loose ball. Hands it off to Oliver. Oliver with the left-hand slam.
As it's now a 21-point lead for the Thunderbirds.
And you can see what happens, too, when they start getting into the transition game of East and getting turnovers. They put up points and buckets. Phillips into the lane, stops at the free throw line, kicks it out to Mascarenas, puts up the long 2. It's off the right iron, and Miller grabs the rebound. Miller up top to much more, who was running the floor, and he lays it in for 2.
As you just mentioned against Cheyenne East, just how potent on the offense. It's a team that can punch in bunches, essentially, and they are showing it right now.
It was cut down to 16. Now it's up to 23, so a 7-0 run for East in a hurry as Demetrius almost picked the pocket of Bird. On the right wing, Phillips has it, looking to go down low. Instead, will come up to Mascarenas. He puts up the jumper, and it rolls in, and a timeout called by Coach Bailey. It will be a 30, so we'll take a quick one as well. A 30-second timeout. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. (51-30) with 5:34 left here in the second. I believe 5:34. Could be at 9.
I'm assuming it's 5:34.
Okay,
again,
good deal.
we have a nice little beam in our way up here up top. Again, how Story Gym is built and how they put the scoreboard placement. It's a little tough to see that clock.
They need it down just a little bit lower and we'll be perfect.
Yeah.
East will start with have the basketball out of the timeout.
It looked like South was going to put on a full court press there and then just kind of backed off.
Yeah, wait a second. Demetrius with the basketball, gets into the front court, dribbling with the right hand, met by Phillips. McCord, his brother, open for three on the left side. It's too strong off the left iron. The rebound comes to Cameron Bird. His first rebound tonight. Bird going coast to coast. It's blocked by Oliver, who says, "Not up in here." Oliver, that's a second block as well.
As the East High student section saying, you got swatted out there to get in the minds of the South High Fightin Bison.
And then you get the South High fans clapping their hands saying he got too much hand on it, but no call. Burns will inbound and underneath, lobs it into Phillips at the top. Phillips, dribble handoff to Burns. Burns at the top of the arc now with Colgan on him. Colgan and Buell checked in after that whistle. So did Leandre Ray. Burns on the left corner, looking to get it down low. Instead, will drive, throw it up the right-hand floater, off the left iron, right iron, and the rebound is going to be last touched by either Oliver or Xavier, one of the two. So the McCord twins, Colgan, Oliver, and Buell are out on the floor for East. South has Burns, Alexander, Ray, Phillips, and Bird. I think I said Bird, but Bird. Bird tried to, the backdoor pass, he loses control. I don't know if he saw it or if he was ready for it. Tried to save it, but it's a turnover. The 10th turnover now for South.
And that is bad to see from Cheyenne South right there. Again, had multiple opportunities to put points on the board. Couldn't cash in.
Oliver, kick over to the left wing to Demetrius. It's short. Oliver grabs the offensive rebound. Buell on the right side now. His three-ball attempt, short on the right side. Demetrius gets way up, grabs the rebound, rips away, and throws it in with the right hand. Good.
Talk about the strength there by McCord.
Yeah, just ripped it away from Alexander and was able to get the finish. Phillips with it at the top, has Oliver up high, gets the screen from Burns, trying to go all the way to the hoop. It's off the back iron, but Colgan will be called for the foul on the way up. Colgan picks up his second, just first team foul.
Yeah, first foul called on either team here in the third quarter.
Phillips, first time at the line, 52% on the season. 23%, or down 23 as South make that 22 as he hits the first of two. Just 4 for 10 tonight. After starting off 3 for 3. Had a little bit of a lull there as that one hits off the back iron a few times and comes down to Xavier's waiting arms. He's got 7 rebounds now. Xavier with it at the top. Sucked inside the perimeter as Phillips daring him to shoot. Buell with it up high. Bird playing very tight on Graydon Buell. They'll have to do the same thing with Eric Oliver. Lob pass down low and a nice drive and dish. The shot was partially blocked by Burns, and Ray grabs the rebound as Colgan couldn't get the finish.
In South, it looked like got away with the possible over back call.
Ray has it on the right wing, looking to go down low to Alexander. Instead, will have to come up top to Burns. Colgan playing up high on him. East is in a man defense. Bird, spin around Demetrius, will kick it out to Ray. Ray thought about the step back, will now drive towards the baseline. He's cut off, bounce pass, a double bounce to Bird, who has it on the right wing. Dribbles through a couple of players, but then kicks it back up top, and he just almost traveled. Ray now into the lane, puts up the right-hand floater. It's an air ball. Colgan grabs the loose ball. Colgan hands it off to Eric Oliver. Eric, nobody stopping him. Instead, he'll kick it out to Buell. Buell driving baseline. Kick over to Colgan is stolen away by Ray. A drive and dish. He tried to go no look, and Ray snuck in there and took it.
For the Fightin Bison, again, they're having plenty of offensive opportunities. Again, just nothing is falling.
Phillips with the deep three. It's off the mark, off the back iron, and Colgan grabs the rebound for East. Here comes Oliver to Demetrius McCord, who lays it in with the right hand. Demetrius has 10 to go along with his 5 rebounds, the lead up to 24.
Talk about that speed by Demetrius again. He can just be a running gunner and just drove all the way to that hoop.
2:35 left in this third quarter. Phillips has it up top, stops at the free throw line, kick out to the left wing to Burns. He'll put up the 3 ball. It's short, and Colgan grabs another rebound. His 4th rebound for East. Demetrius with the right-hand dribbles, picked up by Bird on the right wing. Step back, dribbles between the legs. Will now go to his brother Xavier, gives it to Oliver. Oliver dribbling with the right hand, puts up the long 2-pointer, hits off the front iron, and Burns grabs the rebound. A rare miss for Eric. Bird across the timeline, using his speed, puts up the right-hand floater. Bake shot goes off the right iron, and Colgan again grabs another rebound. He's got 4 rebounds in the quarter. Oliver, nobody picking him up, looking to go coast to coast, left-hand floater, nothing but net. Can't let him get that deep and think you're going to block his shot. He's too good. 26-point lead with 1:50 left in the third quarter.
Cheyenne South taking their time to get it across the timeline right now. Again, burning off crucial seconds.
Ray gets it to the top of the arc, now picks up his dribble, almost taken away by Buell. Down low, Alexander is wide open, and the pass is off the mark. Alexander tried to grab it with one hand and couldn't hold on to it. It's much more. Miller and Rail will come in. It's a timeout called by Jeff Bailey. It's a full timeout. We'll take a 1-minute timeout as well. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. (57-31) with 1:36 left on the Pepsi scoreboard. East with the lead and the basketball. Much more. Rail, Demetrius McCord, Chance Miller, and Aiden Colgan on the floor for East. Phillips, Ray, Mascarenas, Alexander, and Hunter Scott for South. Rail with the basketball, dribble handoff to Miller as they work the weave on the perimeter. Rail has it on the right wing, South in a 3-2 zone. Demetrius will slow it down and call out the zone offense. Gets the high screen from Miller, dribbles with the left hand. They're going to call a moving screen on Miller. And for Chance, it's his first foul, just the second on the team.
Yeah, 2 fouls called in total here in this third quarter, all against Cheyenne East.
Well, when you got a tempo that for South where they're trying to slow it down, and as East got things running, explains why there's not as many whistles. Phillips tried to entry pass to Hunter Scott. His pass comes right back to him, and then he throws it to Alexander trying to drive, goes to the left hand too strong. Hunter Scott grabs the rebound, and shot's an air ball, and then it's last touched by Mascarenas for South.
But talk about the fouls being called here in the second half. Also, to give kudos, as rare as it is, to the officiating crew and allowing both teams to just go out there and play right now.
They had some opportunities to call some contact down below and chosen not to, and they've been consistent with it all night. Demetrius with the basketball, looking to get somebody to flare up high. Much more does so. Now it's Rail with it. 3 players converge on Miller. He passes it over to Much More. Much More misses the first one, gives it to Miller. Finger roll air ball. Phillips grabs the loose ball. Phillips goes to Alexander, dribbling with the left hand, gets around Demetrius, and then stolen by Miller, who hustled down the floor and was able to steal the pass from Alexander. Much More on the left wing for East. Goes to a no-look pass to Jake Rail, who lays it in for 2. Nice pass by Tanner Much More, who picks up his first assist tonight.
As it is now a 28-point lead for Cheyenne East.
And we're under 10 seconds now. For Much More, averaging 4.5 assists a game, just his first, as we had just mentioned. Alexander into the lane, walked. Yeah, they'll call the travel. It was good defense. 12th turnover for South. Good defense by Chance Miller with 2.5 left as Kevin Bell will come in for Ray. East will have the basketball with one more chance to extend on their 28-point lead, their largest of the night. Demetrius has it. One dribble, puts up the half-court shot at the horn, way up top on the backboard, and that will be it. 59-31 after 3. East with the lead. A 1-minute timeout here on 1480 KRAE.
Well, around Laramie County, as we look at final scores from earlier ladies contest, Class 3A, number 3 Rollins defeated Burns Lady Bronx by a final score of 46-36. And then looking in Class 2A, Lusk Lady Tigers, they upset number 2 Pine Bluffs Lady Hornets in Pine Bluffs by a final score of 54-41.
We're here in the fourth quarter between East and South. East with the 59-31 lead over South. Mascarenas, Phillips, Alexander, Kevin Bell, and Hunter Scott on the floor for South. East has Muchmore, McCord, Twins, Miller, and Oliver. So the starting 5 out on the floor for East. Phillips across the timeline with the left-hand dribble, gets the high screen from Alexander, but doesn't take it. Instead goes right wing to Mascarenas. Up top, Kevin Bell with the lefty, passes it over to Phillips with the left hand. Cutting into the lane is Mascarenas. It comes up top on the right wing to Scott as they kind of try to just pass and cut right now as South. Scott, kick over to the right wing. Up top, Kevin Bell jabs one way, goes to the other. Mascarenas, right wing 3, got it to go. Mascarenas hits his first 3 ball. He's got 7. Lead cut to 25. Xavier with the right hand dribble, slows it down, gets the high screen from Oliver. Now we'll hand it a pick and pop situation between McCord and Oliver. It's short. Mascarenas grabs the rebound.
Again, give credit to the Fightin Bison, still showing hard out there. Still competing.
Phillips with the basketball. Right hand pass to Alexander on the right wing. Alexander with the left hand dribble, fakes the pass to the left, goes to the right to Scott. Backdoor cut by Bell over his head. It's a turnover for South, their 13th tonight. And back in is Cameron Byrne for Mari Alexander. Oliver will inbound it for East. Oliver in the second quarter with the 2-point bucket, became the leading scorer in East High School history. Demetrius goes into the baseline. Nice pass to Muchmore. His shot is short, but a foul is called late on Cameron Bird.
So Cameron Bird will pick up the foul. First team foul called against Cheyenne South, and for Bird, his first.
So Muchmore will go to the line. He's 0 for 2 tonight at the free throw line. As a team, they're 5 of 11. Muchmore's first is short.
And kind of a luxury to make it to the free throw line here for both teams. Again, kudos to the officiating crew of allowing these two teams to just kind of duke it out there.
Well, and they're definitely keeping it even for the most part on the fouls as well, which is something most officials look at and like to see as Muchmore cashes the second one. They're now 6 of 13, 60-34, 26-point lead for East. Phillips hustling down the floor, he loses control, and Muchmore is going to come up with the steal. No, they're going to call a jump ball as Phillips in frustration slaps the floor. It's going to be a turnover as the jump ball brings East, or has the possession error favoring East, so they'll take over.
So another lost opportunity for Cheyenne South.
Demetrius into the lane, puts up the right-hand shot, didn't have enough English on it as Burt grabs the rebound. His second one, looking to go coast to coast. Euro step, puts up the right-hand shot over Oliver. Oliver on the shot block attempt is called for the foul, and he does the old, what, me?
The question mark of how is that called against me? So Eric Oliver will pick up his first foul, team's third against East.
That will send Bird to the line again. He's 3 for 5 tonight. Or sorry, 3 for 7. He started out 3 for 3. He's missed 3 in a row. This time though, 4 in a row. That time he connects.
That time he says, take your 4 in a row streak.
Yeah. And just stop talking about it.
Absolutely.
He's got to tie the shoes now, does Bird, at the free throw line. Bird started off hot, had 10 of the 11 points in the first quarter, but since then has just scored 2 points. And all of them have come from the free throw line as he goes 2 for 2 that time at the free throw line. Muchmore has it on the left wing, or gives it up to Miller, now down low. Oliver faces up on Phillips. Step back, long 2 with the hand in his face. It's long, and the rebound comes to Burns. Great defense there by Caleb Phillips. Bird will slow it down 24 is South. They have the basketball. Bird, lob pass to Hunter Scott. Fakes, puts up the double pump shot. He misses the first one, grabs the initial rebound, but then Muchmore able to take it away. Xavier bounces the pass to himself, slams it home, and he's fouled. So he'll go to the line for 2 and 1.
Yeah, count the dunk. An opportunity for the and 1.
I believe the foul was on Burns. his fourth.
And we're still waiting on that foul call right now, as it will be the second team foul called against Cheyenne South.
I think it is Burns, as he was looking down in the low block. Xavier with the N1 opportunity, rolls in. So he gets through the hard way, leads up to 27. Phillips between the leg dribble, hands it off to Burns. Burns working on Xavier, puts up the shot, it rolls in over the shot block attempt of McCord. Burns has 6, lead back to 25. Eric Oliver with the basketball, gets into the lane, puts up the left hand floater, nothing but net again. Oliver with 3 players on him is able to get the finish. So he's got 21.
Offense is coming alive, but for Cheyenne South, you're just answering bucket for bucket right now.
Oliver matches his season average of 21 with that bucket. Phillips down low, stolen by Almiller. Interception style, his 4th steal. Lob pass to Oliver, or sorry, that's to Xavier. Oliver grabs the miss, tried to go with the quick putback. He misses that as Burns grabs the rebound. For South on the other side, Hunter Scott hustling down the floor, picks up the easy 2. So now you're starting to see maybe a little showboat on the east side. It hasn't worked out as much more. Puts up the 3, it rolls in and out, and Burns grabs his 6th rebound. Left corner 3 by Mascarenas, hits off the front iron. Almiller grabs the rebound. There is Xavier McCord. It's going to be a travel called by Almiller, as we'll have a full line change for East. It'll be Pope, Michael Pope, Cole Michaeli, Colgan, Buell, and Rail that comes in for East, as the East starters will take a seat.
As with 4:30 left here in this contest, again, Cheyenne East up by 25 at this point. Again, good move by head coach Rusty Horsley in getting his bench players some varsity experience here.
Phillips calls out the play, goes to Burns at the top. Burns dribbles with the right hand, gets a floater over Colgan. It's an air ball, and the rebound will come to Mascarenas. Turnaround front inside the paint. It's short, and Buell grabs the rebound. Buell grabs his 3rd rebound tonight, and will walk it across the timeline with the left-hand dribble. Pope way up high, has it with the right hand, will go to Colgan on the right wing. Jake Rail posting up down below, the smallest player on the floor right now for East. Colgan dribbles baseline. Burns playing good tight defense on him and causes a turnover. Mascarenas comes up with a steal. Bird looking to go coast to coast behind the back with it. It's short. Colgan grabs another rebound.
Fortunate thing there for Cameron Bird, just went a little too fancy on that play.
3 ball by Buell is nothing but net. Graydon Buell hits his second three-pointer, or sorry, his first three-pointer tonight. He's got 5, leads up to 28. Phillips, he'll put up a 3. Trying to answer it is an air ball, and Colgan's there to grab another loose ball. Lob pass to Pope, who hustles down the floor, puts up the left hand. It's too strong, and Alexander grabs the loose ball. Phillips across the timeline, dribbles between the legs once, will slow it down with the left-hand dribble. Goes to the left corner, Mascarenas with it. East up 28 with 3:10 left here in this 4th quarter. Alexander working on Michaeli, puts up the right-hand shot. He's fouled, the shot doesn't fall. And for Cole Michaeli, he'll pick up his 1st, team 4th.
Again, as that is the 6th foul called in the entire second half for either team.
That will send Alexander to the line to shoot 2. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Only bucket he has scored, the only point he has scored is from the free throw line. Alexander's first is good.
And again, this is one Maury Alexander, who is a freshman for Coach Jeff Bailey. So again, getting plenty of varsity experience. Again, he's going to be a player to look out for the next few years for Cheyenne South.
Yeah, as far as players go, as Alexander misses the second one and Buell grabs the rebound. Only one senior out on the floor for them tonight, and that's been Caleb Phillips. Rail into the paint, gives it over to Colgan, who puts up the long 2. Nothing but nets for Colgan. He picks up his first 2 points tonight. Jake Rail picks up his first assist. Phillips with the right hand stops in the elbow. Down low, extra help by Buell. It's going to be called a foul on Buell.
As the student sections for both Cheyenne South and Cheyenne East getting into it here. As right now this game is well out of hand for Cheyenne South.
29-point lead as Michaeli actually was the one that was called for the foul, so it's his second. Buell still with just 1 foul. Bird with the basketball, goes between the legs, now crossover into the lane, stops at the left block, kick out to Mascarenas in the corner. Bird has it now on the wing, lost his dribble, looking for someone to come up top. Oh, I guess he didn't lose his dribble. Puts up a fadeaway jumper, it's short. Colgan grabs his 8th rebound. Pope bounces it over to Buell. Buell fakes the shot, gets into the lane, double pump, puts up the shot, it's short, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2 as Burns picks up his 5th foul, I believe.
Actually, Burns will pick up his 4th foul. His 4th, team's 3rd against Cheyenne South.
So I assume that the one that they didn't put up was him, but you know what they say when you assume. Won't say it on air.
Yeah.
Nothing but net for Buell on his first free throw attempt. Jackson will come in for Colgan.
So right now they got the scoreboard incorrect up there. They have East with 71 and South with only 41. They should, actually, excuse me.
Buell misses the second. Michael I initially had the rebound, but then it comes down to Mascarenas after all. 71-41, I think that is the scoreboard right?
It should be correct.
Burns, yes. Turnaround jumper from 5. It's off the mark. Alexander grabs the rebound. His shot is blocked by Jackson and then dribbled it out of bounds.
As it is a 30-point lead right now for Cheyenne East.
Largest of the night with 2:07 left here in the 4th quarter. Buell will walk it across the timeline. Looks over at Coach Horsley for the play call as they spread it out, 4 out, 1 in. Rail with the basketball, left corner, or left wing. Pope with the 3. Got it! Rail picks up another assist, and for Pope, he hits a 3 ball.
As it is now a mute point for both teams. Cheyenne East is going to move on, at least with this victory, 18-2 overall. Again, number 2 in Class 4A. For Cheyenne South, they're going to fall to 3-17 overall.
Phillips with the basketball, dribbles with the right hand, and then hands it over to Ray. Rail up top on him. Back to Alexander on the left wing. It's Phillips in the corner right in front of his team's bench with 1:18 left. Into the lane, turnaround jumper from 10, nothing but net for Phillips. He's got 5. Leads cut to 31. Rail with the basketball for East, goes into the corner to Pope. Pope into the Jackson in the paint. Nice cut by Pope, couple of pump fakes. He puts it up and is fouled on the way up. So Pope will go to the line to shoot 2 after a nice cut from the pass of Jackson. The foul's on Mascarenas.
Actually, they're going to call that Leandre Ray, so he'll pick up his 2nd, team's 4th against the Fightin Bison.
Forgive me, I don't have my glasses tonight, so I can't see that far.
We are, again, very high up top here at Story Gym.
Pope's first free throw attempt hits off the left iron. Pope 75% before that one. He was 3 of 5. We'll have some more substitutions. Kobe Bardo, Hunter Scott, and Kevin Bell come in for South as Phillips, Barnes, and Burns comes out for South. With 59.2 left here in this 4th quarter. Pope goes 1 for 2 at the line. He's got 4 points here in this quarter. Ray will walk it across the timeline at half court now. Goes between the legs, trying to go into the lane. Instead, we'll kick it out to Bell. Bell pass to Mascarenas, who bobbles it, puts up the shot. It's short, and Michael I grabs the rebound for East, and then he's fouled. Just the 5th team foul, though, for South, so no free throws coming. Just an inbound play underneath the basket in the backcourt for East.
And again, that was called against Bardo, so his 1st, team's 5th against South.
Buell with the left-hand dribble. Let's see if East just tries to get it across the timeline and slow it down. Buell gets into the paint, now slows it down and will dribble it out. Bell right in his back pocket. Will dribble handoff to Pope. Now they'll run the spread offense. Almost the basketball version of the victory formation. Michael I dribbles to the perimeter, kicks it out to Pope. 20 seconds left. Now it's in the corner to Jackson. Jackson with the left-hand dribble will bring it up top to the corner. Way up high, right in front of the scorer's table. Scott steals it away from Jackson. Scott trying to go for the steal and 2, finger rolls it in. He's got 10, his 3rd steal tonight. And with 3 seconds left, Bell comes up with the steal, puts up the shot at the horn, nothing but net. So Bell ends with 4. The final score will be 75-47, a 28-point victory for East. And Nick, they really didn't have a whole lot to worry about as they led wire to wire tonight.
Again, starting out this contest with a 6-0 run again, did not give up that lead at a single point in time. So again, all 4 quarters dominated by the East High Thunderbirds. Again, as they'll move to 18-2 overall, again, solidify at least that number 2 ranking in Class 4A. And for Cheyenne South, again, falling to 3-16 overall with the loss here tonight.
We'll take a 1-minute timeout, have our final stats for you and get you set up with the schedule that is ahead as LCCC's closing down with their regular season, as well our high school action will be closing down next week as well. So we'll get you that schedule and our stats from tonight's victory. East again 75, South 47, a 1-minute timeout. You're watching high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. (75-47) East with the victory over South as
Cheyenne East sweeps here today at Story Gym as they again in the girls contest in favor of the Lady Thunderbirds as they pick up the double-digit at least victory earlier. And again in this contest, the East Side Thunderbirds defeating Cheyenne South, the Fighting Bison. So again a sweep here for Cheyenne East here at Story Gymnasium.
Let's take a look at the final stats as far as individual point totals go. Cameron Bird led the way for South. He had 14 points. Hunter Scott chipped in with 10. 7 points for Mascarena, 6 for Burns, 4 for Kevin Bell, 5 for Caleb Phillips, and 2 for Mari Alexander. For East, they were led by Eric Oliver with 21 points, 11 points for Xavier McCord, 10 for both Demetrius and Chance Ahmiller, 7 points for Tanner Muchmore, 6 points for Buell, 2 points apiece for Jake Rail, Aiden Colgan, and Onyx Jackson. Michael Pope, again, also had 4 off the bench. As, again, for Coach Rusty Horsley, I believe it's 19-2 and now 8-1 because I had my thing down wrong. So, because when I do my stats,
I got off of your numbers.
Yeah,
so
I forgot to update it after last night's game.
No problem.
So they'll go 19-2. They now have won 13 of their last 15. They're 8-1 in the Class 4A. They're undefeated in the quadrant play. For South, they'll go to 3-17, 1-8 in Class 4A. They'll be 0-4 in quadrant play. So for as far as what's coming up, you got some LCCC, I believe, in the middle of the week.
We certainly do, at least coming up at least for, we'll stick on the high school side as we'll wrap up the regular season back here at Story Gym next Friday, as it will be at least battle of more rivals, as it will be East versus Central, as again the girls contest up first and then followed up by the boys. Again, it will be Central versus East. Final regular season game coming up this Friday here live from Story Gym. Myself, Nick Brody, along with Chris Polton, we will be live again with the audio and video. Again, 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480krae.com, and video live streaming as always on the Periscope side, on Twitter, again at my account at Nick Wiles Sports, and on our 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. For LCCC here on 1480 KRAE, we will have action. Myself and Larry Brody will be live at the rack for the final time of the regular season for LCCC. Coming up tomorrow, 2 and 4 o'clock, as it will be women and men's action for LCCC as they play host to Gillette. So the Lady Pronghorns and Pronghorns of Gillette will come on down again for the final home game, regular home game for LCCC coming up tomorrow on 1480 KRAE. So that's kind of taking a look at what's upcoming for the 1480 KRAE broadcast schedule. We will have more LCCC basketball as well coming up next week. But again, we'll divulge into that after tomorrow's contest, again with myself and Larry Brody live from the rack.
Well, here at Story Gymnasium, East sweeps as the number 1 rated East Lady Thunderbirds win, and the number 2 rated East Thunderbirds both beat the Fightin Bison. For Jacob Hamill back at the studio, always doing a great job. And for my partner, Nick Peretti, I am Chris Polton. We'll take you back to your regular scheduled program right here on 1480 KRAE.